walking the beach. I was racing away. It knocked me off my feet. I fell into
Hello.
It's Taya!
Oh, hi.
Taya!
Hello. What was
Hi.
that?
I didn't realize the intro of it to be written like a archive of our own fanfic.
Yes, I was just about to say, let me just read Ricky's comment. Since I haven't really watched Homestuck, probably not going to stick around for the actual podcast experience. Yeah, you're going to have no idea what's going on. No idea.
Yeah.
But yes, this is my wheelhouse. Okay, here's the thing. I've never read I started reading the epilogues and then I got sad and then stopped. So I've only read a little bit of it. But as a 30-something who now loves AO3 like it's my lifeblood, this is gonna be fucking right in my wheelhouse. It's already scratching my brain. I'm just like, yes, I can. This is my format. This is what I write in. You know, like this is my thing. So I'm very excited.
Barack Obama, my favorite Homestuck character.
I want to read through these in a few, but yeah. Now that we've read Homestuck and the Paradox Case, we are about to enter an era of literature with no images. How does that make you feel?
It is the end of... I mean, there are pages of the actual comic that were already basically this.
Yeah.
So this is Homestuck's end of Eva moment?
Basically. I don't know if there's the process of nutting on your hand while looking at your...
That would be completely... That would be less out of... If anything, that would be less surprising in Homestuck than it was in, End of Eva.
Yeah. I'm like, bro needed to have some growth. They gave it to him. Anyway, not the way that he needed to grow, but whatever.
Yeah.
Alright, anyway. So, we will, try to get through as much of the epilogues as possible. I think that even though I'm gonna be going on a hiatus soon, we can still do like every other Saturday for Homestuck. Because it's not very taxing on me to do this. Because it's a co-experience.
Yeah.
So I don't mind spending hiatus time doing this. Anyway, I'm gonna read, we'll do it, you know, like, if I remember correctly, it is set up like chat logs, so there will still be, you know, voicing everyone, and I think that the text is still colored, I think so. I'm trying to remember. But anyway, I'll read the ratings and the content warnings and stuff, which I do have a new triggers list. It just goes to a Reddit list of the triggers, because that's all I could muster up. Yeah. And then Orville will continue his very best at being the narrator. That is to say, before we begin, do you have any speculations as to what happens in the epilogues?
Okay, so that's a good question. Again, I just looked at the characters, but I mean, I guess Caliborn is still alive, and it's still out there, specifically, even if Caliborn as Lord English isn't.
Yeah.
But I also don't know how much we're supposed to take his seemingly aliveness to be existential threat, and how much is...
Yeah.
He's just kind of there because without the power of Lord English, he's just a teenage edgelord.
Yep, I'm just a teenage edgelord, baby. I am reading Homestuck, baby. Ooh. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna read, the rating is mature. It's not explicit, so oddly enough.
Okay.
Yeah, FF, FM, MM, multi, and other pairings. It's in the fandom of Homestuck. If you didn't know that, guys, this is about Homestuck.
No!
It was cute. Characters are John Egbert, Rose Lalonde, David Strider, Jane Harley, Jane Crocker, Roxy Lalonde, Jake English, Dirk Strider, Barack Obama.
Who voices Obama?
Who here does the best Obama impression?
Not me.
I'm gonna pre, dude.
My fellow Americans.
My fellow Americans.
My fellow Americans.
It's Nana.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna pre, dude. Aradia, Megadode, Tavros Nitrium, Solix Captor, Carcav Vantis, Kanaya Miriam, Trozy Pyro, Briska Circuit, Gamzee Makara, Eridan Ampera, Pfeffery Paishes, Arania Circuit, Mina Paishes, Devepida Sprite times 2, or Carat 2, Calliope, Caliborn, Lord English, original male characters, and original female characters. And here's our content warning. We got rape, non-con, dubious consent, chronic illness, graphic depictions of violence, which is why it should be explicit and not rated mature. But whatever, Andrew Hussey. Yeah. Major character death, suicide, child abuse, sexual abuse, domestic abuse, age difference, pedophilia, white supremacy, prison camps, genocide, transphobia, misgendering, mind control, mind break, bad ending, unhealthy relationships, sexual harassment, breastfeeding, possibly to squirrels, I don't know. Breast milk, milking, misogyny, sexism, toxic masculinity, alternate universe, canon compliant, canon divergent, redemption, world war, political intrigue, rough sex, light BDSM, black romance, child neglect, daddy issues, bad parenting, addiction, alcohol use, drug use, death, murder, incestuous undertones, polyamory, cuckolding, hell yeah, infidelity, gender transition, non-binary characters, identity questioning, detransitioning, mental illness, depression, existential crisis, speciesism, xenophobia, pregnancy, babies, bimbofication, hell yeah, slut-shaming, gore, blood, body horror, fascism, political rebellion, assassination, furry, anthropomorphic characters, alien biology, ovipositioning, capitalism, propaganda, super PACs, revolutionary rhetoric, self-sacrifice, friends to lovers, power imbalance, manipulation, abuse, diapers, possession, starvation, interspecies relationships, xenophilia, war, vomit, drugging, cannibalism, and Pika. Woo!
So, what? So, who do you think's getting bimbofied?
I hope it's Eridan. And then, Additional tags include the economy, robots, meta, fridging, honk, marriage, feet, clown dynamics, children, funerals, religion, eating, food, aliens, theft, trickster mode, reality vision, gerrymandering, rapping, guns, eggs, kidnapping, fago, poisoning teenagers, ghosts, early 20th century dance movements, clown. It's in English. The summary. 10 years after their adventure began, the heroes are enjoying a well-earned retirement on Earth C. But John still has one last choice to make, so that means that's taking place in 2019.
Okay.
Alright, let's start with the prologue.
It starts with a crack. Everything else rises up from that like steam. A trembling thread that cuts through space in jagged lines, splintering the void into razor-sharp shards of putrefying leptons and quarks popping apart like raw eggs in a microwave. It's coming undone at a subatomic level, from the bottom up, from the inside out. From the top down, it looks like the eye of a storm, a black hole so supermassive that it spins the width of eternity. It turns infinity into something as thin and fragile as cellophane. Shreds of its dimensions, a piece of paper pinched together at either end, a hole poked through it. At the center of that hole, the edges can be heard fraying. Pandemonium, as continuity buckles in the middle and the two ends come smashing together. Around the hole, ghosts scream. They claw at the dying borders of their dreams with fingernail-chipping desperation. They whip together like the wind, trailing the mutilated streaks of their hypothetical futures with them. It's a multifractal neon cyclone of primordial conclusion. A churning blender of hyperfinal, catastrophically terminal, overwhelmingly permanent double death. The screaming distorts and plunges low as it gets closer to the cavity. At the center, that distortion turns into an eerie music. That's where the cacophony ends. The shattering, the screaming, the squelching, the sounds of elemental particles being torn apart like string cheese shoved through a meat grinder, then dumped down a strangely melodious garbage disposal. It all returns to the same tonic dominant, matching pitch and tone, ironing out the rebellious flats and sharps until the discordance becomes exquisite. A subharmonic symphony that can only be heard in the bones. At the dead center of the event, it is extremely quiet. A silence made of all the suffering that limitless semi-paternity can hold. It's bleeding together until the prism turns to obsidian. It's too vast to comprehend, too black to behold without closing your eyes. Retreating to the back of your own eyelids is to seek the comfort of a familiar darkness. It is to reject an absolute tenebrosity so perfectly alien, it threatens to rip the humanity right through your eye sockets. This is the end of everything. This is the end of paradox space. You...
Oh, I can still do the pages. Yeah. Wake up!
Your name is John Egbert, and you've just had a terrible, deeply pretentious nightmare. A terrible, deeply pretentious nightmare is how I would describe Homestuck in general, actually. You snap out of bed, soaked in sweat, your heart hammering like a fire alarm. It is just as you feared. You've been dreaming in anime again, and you have no idea what it could mean.
Look outside, just to make absolutely sure the world is not ending.
The sun is coming in through your window in bars of soft yellow. The only sound you can hear for miles is the wind skimming the hollows of your neighbors' pipe homes. It's a normal day in the Salamander Village, which you refer to as Salamander Village because the damned salamanders never bothered to give this village a name, you guess. Absolutely nothing of note has ever happened here in the entire history of the planet, which you would know because you created it. Beside your pillow, your phone is vibrating. Rose is calling. The screen of your phone reads 9:30 a.m. April 13th, and also the number 46, which is how many text messages your friend left you while you were sleeping. A bit excessive, even for her.
Answer the phone.
Since when are you known to operate your telephone?
Since, I don't know. Has it really been that long since I called?
I can't remember the last time.
Neither can I. Anyway, what's up?
First of all, happy birthday.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Fuck. I forgot.
Am I correct in presuming this April 13th will be as uneventful as the last?
Yeah. I don't want to do anything this year. I hope that's okay.
Of course it's okay. It's your birthday, after all.
Rose?
Yes?
You wander to the window and watch the salamanders go about their day. All over the neighborhood, the little dad salamanders are putting on their little rumpled hats and picking up their little suitcases and kissing their little families goodbye for the day. You've always been confused about what, exactly, they contribute to the global economy, but it's pretty cute how much they love playing at being suburban businessmen. The silence over the phone is growing awkward. You've stalled long enough. You decide to just come out and say it.
I've been dreaming in anime again lately. I have no idea what it can mean.
I see.
It's horrible every time. And I don't mean because anime is bad or anything, it's not that. Whenever I have these dreams, everything's breaking apart. Millions of people are screaming and dying. I mean, dying permanently. Not the kind of bullshit dying that we've been doing a lot over the years.
You're a couple yards over, a salamander blows an astounding spit bubble. Truly one for the books. Your eyes trace its meandering journey into the sky as you gather your thoughts.
What do you think it all means?
What do I think what means?
What do you think it means that I've been dreaming in anime?
I don't have the slightest idea what it means that you've been dreaming in anime, John. To be honest,
You wait for Rose to finish her thought. She doesn't, which is troubling because you've never known Rose to leave a thought unfinished in over 10 years of acquaintance. You suppose it's possible it may have happened one of the times she died. You wouldn't bet on it, though.
Rose, are you okay?
Not exactly.
What's wrong?
I think my condition's been getting worse lately.
Condition?
That's why my message probably sounded urgent.
You left 46 messages.
Yes, they were all urgent.
Oh.
I don't think I can wait much longer before telling you. I held out for as long as I could. I figured your birthday was as good as time as any to let you know.
Let me know what?
It's crept up on me these last couple of years, gradually enough to ignore as it was happening, but I can't anymore. Lately, the visions have been overwhelming.
Visions?
John, I have terrible headaches these days. Talking on the phone doesn't help. Would you mind flying to my apartment so we can continue this in person?
Oh, yeah. You mean now?
Yes, now is the time. I've put it off long enough.
You move the phone away from your ear, and you assume an expression you haven't practiced in years. It is the look of a man who actually has something to do. Holding the phone directly in front of your face, you speak into the receiver.
Okay, I'm on my way. Bye, Rose.
As you hang up the phone, a familiar feeling settles over you. A feeling of standing and being alone. In your bedroom, as a young man, on your birthday. You swear you've felt this feeling before. It's almost like a young man stands alone in his bedroom. It just so happens that today, the 13th of April, is this young man's birthday. Though it was 23 years ago when he was given life, and 10 years ago when he was given a name, it feels like it is only today that he will begin to understand what that all means. That young man is you, John Egbert. What will you do?
That's beautiful.
I mean, that is a hell of an introduction.
Yeah.
And it had to be. It keeps happening. When you arrive at Rose's apartment, you find her asleep on the couch. You slide the balcony door open quietly.
Rose?
Her eyes flutter open. She looks like a ghost, and not the kind of ghost that looks and acts exactly like an alive person.
How long have I been sleeping?
I don't know, I just got here. Are you okay?
I'll be fine.
It looks like a lot of pills you're taking there.
Yeah, it's not what you're thinking.
What am I thinking?
These are controlled substances that have been prescribed by a legitimate doctor to ease the symptoms of my condition. I'm using them only as instructed.
Okay.
so there's nothing to worry about.
But you said you have a condition. Isn't that bad?
You watch her rise in stages. Her arm is trembling where she's bracing it on the couch.
Oh, yes, the condition itself is not ideal, obviously, and perhaps it does constitute something to worry about, in the context of a different conversation. All I'm trying to say is I'm not backsliding if that's what you're wondering.
You spend several pregnant moments saying nothing at all in response to this. You examine Rose's supine, languid form on the couch, optimistic that she will continue speaking any moment now.
I struggled with substance abuse for a while, years ago, remember?
Rose, Jesus. I wasn't gonna accuse you of being a drug addict, and I didn't fly over here to give you an intervention. It sounded like you had some important stuff to tell me, and the fact that you also seem to be sick is more than a little alarming.
I wouldn't say I'm sick, just having spectacularly debilitating headaches as a result of my visions becoming more frequent.
Oh, yeah. What are these visions you're having?
I'm a seer of light, John.
I know. So you mean like your standard psychic visions about the future and stuff? What's gonna happen? Should we be worried?
Doesn't technically pertain to the future. Well, not our future. My abilities have broadened considerably beyond their previous horizon. They shed light on many unseen events, past, present, future, and realities and frames of reference that have no intersection with ours at all. It seems to be an unfortunate side effect of God-tier abilities. They can advance at a rate beyond one's physical ability to keep up with. Fortunately, it doesn't seem to be happening to anyone other than me.
Yeah, I can't say I've noticed anything like that. Or improvement in my powers, for that matter.
It's not about gaining additional power so much as the gradual dissolving of the boundaries between your own awareness and that of your many doomed selves who perished in other timelines. It's a slow and apparently rather uncomfortable accretion of knowledge. Perhaps I'm the only one to notice any change, since my aspect explicitly relates to knowledge.
I guess that all makes sense. So what are these visions showing you?
Many things. They're quite disjointed and sometimes hard to rearrange into coherence. But in totality, I have pieced together a greater understanding of our present situation and all the events that led us here.
You watch Rose stagger to her feet and cross the apartment. At the kitchenette, she knocks back another pillow with a practiced motion, no water. Her vacant stare drills into the countertop as she quietly waits for the meditation to take effect.
And
what?
what is it about our situation that you wanted to tell me? Is it bad?
Good and bad are words that don't mean anything beyond a certain threshold of mortal consideration. There's a different scale I've come to understand, another dichotomy that's less emotional, I guess. Consider instead of the word good, using the word essential. And what exists at the opposite polarity from essential is something that is best not to contemplate.
What are you talking about? This sounds fucked up.
Yes, that sounds like a reaction you would definitely have to the things I'm telling you. I really should cut it out and just start from the beginning.
You follow Rose to the balcony. She raises a hand and points directly to the clear blue sky. She points with purpose, as if to say, there. Right there, precisely, is where the green sun would be if it still existed.
The green sun is gone.
What?
It has been destroyed, at least from the current frame of reference it has. It still existed, and therefore in a way that's hard to explain, currently exists over a nearly infinite span of time, presiding over the birth and death of countless universes. But this universe, our universe, is not one of them.
You saw this in a vision?
No, Jade told me.
She did. How does she know?
She can't draw from its power anymore. She no longer has the ability of a first guardian. It has been this way for several years. I suspect she has kept this fact on the down low, however.
That's surprising, I guess. Or maybe not? I don't know, it's not like she tells me a whole lot these days.
It's also not like she's had any particular need to unleash the full fury of the Green Sun, not while she's been gallivanting around with Dave and Karkat under whatever perplexing social arrangement they have settled on. Anyway, her account of the sun's destruction syncs up with the data supplied by my visions. I have no doubt it's gone.
How did that happen?
Doesn't matter much for our purposes. There was a cataclysmic event, a suicide strike by a very powerful being, much like the one Dave and I attempted once upon a time. But it turned out the explosive force we released was only a catalyst, a casual gesture. What was needed to destroy the sun was a consumptive assault.
Consumptive?
The entire sun was swallowed by a supermassive black hole. I digress, though.
You press your eyes shut, just for a moment. Behind them you see a black hole so supermassive that it spans the width of eternity. You quickly open your eyes again and pretend to forget what you just saw.
There's really no route through this expository garden path that will adequately cushion you from the bottom line, John. You will need to travel back into canon and defeat Lord English.
You
Shrug and try to look casual.
You pull off the most casual shrug that a guy has ever shrugged when being presented with the inevitability of his own fate. If Rose were looking at you right now, she would be totally convinced you are approaching this topic with a level of nonchalance that is entirely plausible and genuine. You're sure of it.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to come up again someday.
I'm sure we all did. That is, even those of us without visions.
I was doing my best to not think about it. I guess we can't put it off any longer then.
Now is the time. We are rapidly approaching a point of no return. If the decision isn't made soon, it will be too late. The issue will no longer matter.
When exactly is the point of no return?
Today.
Wow. Okay then. First, one question. Why?
Why what?
Why do we need to go back and beat him? I mean, sorry if this is a stupid question. I guess he's a huge, awful monster, and that's just what we're supposed to do with a huge, awful monster. Take them down for their crimes and such, but why does he actually need to be defeated at all? To be honest, it's been years since we bothered thinking about any of this, and everything seems... Take a look around and survey the current status of all life on Earth, which is totally possible to do from the vantage point of a single apartment balcony. Fine?
Of course everything is fine here. We're outside of canon now.
Yeah, I know. What does that actually mean, though? Are you saying this isn't really happening?
Of course it's happening. Just because certain events take place outside of canon, it doesn't mean those events are non-canon.
Oh.
In other words, there is an important distinction between the events which can be considered to occur inside canon, outside canon, and those which are not canon at all. The day we went through that door and claimed our reward, we passed a threshold between continua marked by differing degrees of relevance, truth, and essentiality. Those are the three pillars of canon.
What?
Rose shoots you an irritated look. You know what that look means. It's reserved for the sort of bozo who just said "what" once too often.
Any event said to take place inside canon will have non-zero values of relevance and essentiality, while maintaining an absolute foundation in truth by definition, whereas events outside of canon have diminished values of relevance and essentiality, or, for the most part, can be considered neither relevant nor essential at all. But such events can't be said to be untrue either. Instead, it's better to regard their truth value as highly conditional. Are you still following?
Say, oh yeah, totally. Oh, yeah, totally.
So, to be clear, everything that's taken place here on Earth C since we exited canon can be considered completely irrelevant, for the most part, absolutely inessential. Yet none of it can be called untrue, at least up until precisely today.
Okay, then what does non-canon mean?
Events that are formally non-canon have no truth whatsoever by definition. They may have relevance and essentially values that are non-zero, or even quite high, but only as projecting along an imaginary axis, resulting from highly subjective frames of reference. But due to those events having no truth, and thus carrying no real weight, the other properties are basically rendered meaningless.
You can feel your eyes go wide as the gears in your head slow to a stop. The implications of what Rose is saying are as vast as they are completely incomprehensible. Your mind has just been blown!
John,
Hold on a second, I'll be right back.
Okay.
So, how about them sports? World Cup, am I right? Catch the game. The big man has the rock. How's your Saturday?
Sorry about that.
Oh,
my mom just got home.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Such a shame.
So where were we? I remember.
You just finished speaking.
You just said blown.
Okay. Good then. So.
John, are you okay? Your pupils have gone quite wide, thereby facilitating the appearance that your mind has just been blown.
Sorry, I'm just trying to wrap my head around all this.
You of all people really should have a good intuitive grasp over these concepts already. You're the one with the retcon powers, after all.
I know. Like, I mostly get it, I think. I just wouldn't have thought to put all of this in such a jargony way.
Sorry, that's kind of what I do.
It's fine, I'm just a bit rusty is all. It feels like it's been so long since I did, or even thought about anything that mattered at all.
Yes, the longer we live outside of canon, the more tenuous our relationship with canon becomes. Hence the urgency.
Then what's gonna happen if we keep dragging our feet?
I mentioned that events outside canon have a truth value that tends to be conditional, remember? Well, I did. But let me put it another way. As long as we live outside canon, everything that happens will technically be real, but only conditionally. There are certain crucial events inside canon which must happen in order to continue to prop up the legitimacy of events here on Earthsea. And you specifically, John, have a responsibility to make sure those events take place.
And I take it that means going back and killing Lord English.
Yes, his defeat is the keystone to this entire continuity. Much like his life, in some sick way, governed the overall design of the bridge which that keystone was holding up. But without it, all of this falls apart. Everything we've been through, in a way that's impossible for a single mind to fully comprehend, becomes retroactively discredited.
So, reality will be destroyed, or something? Hasn't that already sort of happened? I mean, when all of the black space started cracking?
No, this consequence isn't physical or even a disruption of the timeline. It's more of a conceptual unraveling. If you miss the chance to authenticate canon events, something will take place that's a bit difficult to describe, but I've countered a term for it. It's called dissipation, like a notional fading, as if something somewhere is undergoing a process of forgetting, and we are what is being forgotten. All ideas, people, and their full potentialities, possible outcomes, and their specific unfolding, all these things live inside conscious frameworks. The further removed we get from authentication of canon events, the less relevant they become, and they slowly fade from the conscious frameworks which kept them stable.
Make a theatrically startled expression. Okay, I guess we don't want that to happen. Or unhappen? Whatever. So I just retcon poof back to English and start, like, brawling with the dude?
Don't be ridiculous. You wouldn't last a second. You'll need a team. Also, you don't want to just dive headlong into a battle with his hulking adult form. That would be tactically foolish, and furthermore would skip over some very important steps needed to authenticate canon.
Like what?
I mentioned that English's defeat was the keystone to continuity, but this is an oversimplification.
Yikes. Well, we sure as fuck wouldn't want to simplify anything.
John, please don't be a bitch. I'm unwell, remember?
Sorry.
The true keystone, which is a necessary component of his defeat, is the Juju, the house-shaped object you stuck your hand in to gain your retcon powers.
Oh yeah.
While empty, it resembles a gap, like a hole in canon whose only purpose is to be filled. In serving that purpose, it grants one with the radical canon-altering powers that would be needed to fill it. Once filled, it becomes solid, no longer a gap, but a serviceable load-bearing wedge in our continuity. Like a keystone. Once delivered to English and directed his way, it empties itself again, releasing its narrative-bridging payload. It functions as a weapon and in some manner will bring about his demise.
In some manner?
It's a complicated artifact, as old and unfathomable as anything else in Paradox space, like the Green Sun or English himself. Don't worry about it for now. The important thing is that, in the due course of your travels, you will end up loading and unloading this weapon.
How am I gonna do that?
Once you set things in motion, it should just happen naturally through the narrative momentum of your journey. I'm really just warning you about it rather than instructing you.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Rose looks at her phone. You recognize Kanaya's distinct typing style in the window. Rose's thumbs begin to fly across the keypad. She continues to text as she talks.
So, if we're going to go back and kill him in time to authenticate canon, I guess we have to get going soon, like today?
Yes.
Are you sure you're actually up for a fight, though? No offense, but you're looking a little worse for the wear.
I'm not going.
Oh.
None of us are, only you.
What? But you said...
John, this is the victory state.
What the hell does that even mean?
When we went through the door and passed beyond the threshold of canon, we effectively retired from bearing any responsibility for influencing canon events. We've all been sort of decommissioned as active players on the cosmic stage, with severely diminished relevance attributes. All except for you, of course, since you've retained your retcon abilities.
Okay, I get that. Kind of. But couldn't you all just come along anyway?
We could, but it wouldn't serve any purpose. It wouldn't plug up the remaining dark spots in canon. You'll need a group of active players, those still stuck inside the stream of canonic karma.
Who?
Nothing too extravagant, just different versions of us, younger versions from a particularly dysfunctional impasse in our journey. I can point out the exact moment in canon you should be disrupting and how you should disrupt it. In fact, I've already written it down to spare you the trouble of remembering.
Rose leads you back inside and retrieves a letter from her desk. She hands it over, still typing one-handed on her phone. She sits down and you read the letter.
Huh.
Is anything confusing about my instructions?
No, I remember all this. It shouldn't be a problem. It's just weird to think about revisiting this. It seems like an eternity. Like, we were all completely different people back then.
I assure you we are all still fundamentally the same bunch of losers.
Rose is ultimately right about that, the way she is about most things. You continue to scan the letter and grimace slightly.
Should I really punch her in the face? I felt kind of bad about it last time I did that to someone.
Yes, you absolutely should and must punch her in the face.
You exhale and turn over the paper in your hands. The other side is blank. You flip it back over, having fully processed the instructions drafted in the polished purple handwriting. You like how Rose still writes in purple after all these years. Some things never change.
Alright, this seems straightforward enough. I mean, aside from the part where we all have to fight an invincible monster.
He isn't entirely invincible. He will be vulnerable to Dave's weapon. I believe other gambits should present themselves as well. I don't think it would serve the mission well for me to tell you exactly how it will go, but at least I can offer this bit of encouragement. If you follow my instructions, English will be defeated. It is an absolute essential outcome. And essential, if you'll remember, is the word we should be using instead of good.
I see you're advising we go after him when he's young. I guess that makes sense. Go get him before he gets all big and strong. Like, kind of a surprise attack?
Sure.
That sucks, dude. Oh, that dude sucks. He was taunting me a while back, like I think he wants me to come fight him. Anyway, I just ignored him obviously because I'm not a stupid idiot. But I guess today will be his lucky day.
You take a seat next to Rose on the couch.
Examine your friend.
Her eyes are closed and her hands are folded in her lap. She's not asleep, but she looks wasted, like all the life in her has been sucked out through a straw. Like she's insubstantial. When you were kids, you always thought that Rose Lalonde had all the answers, that she could fix any problem with a wall of text and a witty rejoinder. You guess that much about her hasn't changed. She's still trying to solve the problems you all left behind. You can't believe how sick she looks. How did this happen to her?
I should probably get going and let you rest. We can talk all about it when I get back. I'll fill you in on how it went. Hopefully you'll be feeling better by then.
Oh, yeah.
Is something wrong?
Rose opens her eyes and looks at you, but she says nothing, just looks.
I'm not scared if that's what you're worried about. You already said we're gonna defeat him, so nothing to fret over, right?
Yes, you...
Something flickers through her eyes, almost too quick to catch. When she smiles at you, it's warm and sincere.
You're going to do great.
Rose slides her arms around you. After a while, she releases you from the embrace and gets up to fetch her bottle of pills. She pauses at the bedroom door to look at you one more time.
Goodbye, John.
She closes the door behind her.
Look at the letter.
You run your thumbs along the edge of the paper. Is this really it? One hug from Rose and you're off to face your destiny? The instructions in the letter are clear, but you aren't sure precisely what to do next. Inertia and indecision keep your feet planted firmly on the carpet. Then, as if answering your quandary, your phone buzzes in your pocket. It's a text from Roxy.
Read text.
It sounds important. You get up to go without even thinking about it. You exit through the sliding glass door and leave it open behind you. It's a beautiful day in the Carapace Kingdom, just like it was in the Human Kingdom and just like it was in Salamander Village. For whatever faults this paradise you created might have, you sure don't hear many complaints about the weather. You're sitting with Roxy and Calliope on a giant chessboard-patterned tablecloth. It's a nice touch, you think, but if you spent any time shopping in the Carapace Kingdom, you'd know that most things you can buy are chess-themed. Friendly Carapacians go their day around you, passing through the park with their eyes politely averted as they pretend not to notice that 3 celebrities are having lunch in the grass nearby. It's extra polite of them because you and Roxy are having a very personal conversation.
She looked alright. Mostly just tired. At least she seemed to have enough energy to babble at length about philosophical gibberish and things about canon and such.
Lamau, guess she filled you in on all the ultimate self junk then.
The what?
The shit where she starts knowing everything and feeling bad.
Oh, that's not the term she used. She just kept describing it as a condition. You haven't been feeling anything like that, right?
What, getting to know my ultimate self?
Yeah.
Man, I barely got a hold of my basic-ass self.
Heh. Yeah, she said she was the only one going through this that she knew of. Poor Rose. At least all that medication seems to be keeping her sort of functional.
Roxy gives you a serious, sidelong glance.
Remember that the whole totally unprovoked spiel Rose gave you about substance abuse. She said it wasn't like that. I mean, she said it was under control. Well, what the fuck do I know? The only illicit substance I've ever done is lick that stupid trickster lollipop. Never again.
Yeah, whatever. Can't say it's much my business anymore. Rose and I aren't as close as we used to be.
You nod, sort of knowingly, because you're thinking about how you hadn't talked to Rose in ages either. Roxy gives you a quizzical look, but you turn away before she can draw meaning from it.
Miriam's been keeping her real busy since they got hitched. They both vanished down the brooding caverns, and that was pretty much that. Only since she got sick, she spent more time at home did we start talking more again. It's been great, but our conversations have been a little bit upsetting.
And here it comes. The thing you were trying to avoid thinking about the moment Roxy texted you. About how you haven't talked to Roxy in ages either. You're having such a nice time ignoring that fact, too.
Change the subject. So, are you and Callie still living at the same place I last saw? The one near the tower?
You look toward the bell tower in the distance. It's a Gothic building so tall that it cuts a shadow through the midday sun. It's an important landmark in the kingdom, the tallest structure for miles around, and the only way you can ever navigate your way here flying. Carapace architecture is otherwise identical, a reflection of their functional, collectivist society.
Yup.
That's cool. It's a nice place.
Yeah, I like it here. I thought about it, but I'll probably never want to live in a different kingdom. Still feels most at home around the chess guys.
Makes sense. That's about how I feel about the salamanders. Which, I realize actually makes no fucking sense.
Haha.
They lead simple lives. I don't really care for the chaos of human or troll cities.
Neither do we.
You watch Roxy smile and reach for Calliope's hand.
Look away before you start dwelling on it.
You start dwelling on it immediately, probably looking quite conspicuous with how quickly you whipped your gaze away. But seriously, what is up with their relationship? Is it romantic? Platonic? Can cherubs even have a romantic relationship? Are they even interested in it, like, on a fundamental level? Do their brains and hearts even work that way? Questions like this used to keep you awake at night. You look at them, where Roxy's fingers are entwined with Calliope's green claws. Calliope is still wearing the Ring of Life, the same one you obtained in a ludicrous adventure through the afterlife, and then re-obtained in a ludicrous adventure through canon when it was stolen from you. It's the same one that allowed Calliope to stop being dead in the first place and to come live with your friends here on your beautifully renovated home planet. And it's the same one you gave Roxy all those years ago to fulfill a promise made to a very special new friend. At the time, the gesture felt so important. Felt more meaningful than any gift you'd ever been given. Or you'd ever given. Like there was some grand emotional gravitas about it that signified something deeper than what it turned out to be. You've since concluded you were just imagining things, ascribing symbolic meaning to gestures that they simply didn't carry, like the dumb kid you were.
Tactfully avoid saying anything at all about Roxy and Calliope's weird, ambiguous relationship. So...
But you can't stop thinking about it. What goes on in Roxy's head? What she thinks about you? You and all your friends have your dispositions affected by your classes and aspects. You think that you know what that means in your case, but what about her? You can only speculate. The void is a place where things sink and disappear, where they linger forever but cease to exist. You aren't actually sure if your feelings for Roxy ever faded, or if they just grew numb with time and distance. Is it the same for her? You search your soul for the answer, but come up empty. The truth is, you suspect her mental interior is unfathomable. In fact, you feel sure of it. You wonder suddenly, watching her, this version of her, that is, the one with whom you share all these bittersweet memories, will you ever see her again?
John!
What?
Please forgive me if I come across as impatient, but if we are finished with the pleasantries, I believe you have a choice to make.
Huh?
The choice as to whether you will go defeat my brother or stay here. Have you decided yet?
There's a choice?
Calliope is smiling brightly, but Roxy's face has no expression at all.
I was just assuming I had to go, because if I don't, then a lot of stuff will stop being real, or stop being canon. To tell you the truth, I'm a little confused about what will happen if I don't go, but it sounds like it'll probably be bad.
That may be so. We are not here to caution you about the consequences of your decision either way, but there is always a choice. Roxy and I merely wish to invite you here for a nice human picnic and show our support for whichever decision you make. To be honest, it's a relief to finally be doing this.
It is? How much have you actually talked about this? How many people knew this was going to be a thing?
Just us and Rose. Well, Dirk too, I think. She's been talking to me about it a bunch. And him too, but I don't know how much he got, thoughts about all this shit. But whatever, that's not important or even remotely surprising. Bottom line, Rose has been tormenting herself about having to tell you. I'm just glad she finally said it so she can get rest. Now it's up to you. Yes, take all the time you need. Again, we aren't here to influence you. It's very important that the decision comes from your desire to go through with it one way or another. Any tampering could taint the results.
Taint the... Wait, what?
So what'll it be, John?
A chill runs through you and stays there.
Consider the gravitas of this choice.
You try, but you can't, because you weren't really prepared for it. You didn't think it was a choice at all until this very second. You think back to the way Rose looked at you before she went to bed. What has she told Roxy that she didn't tell you? The chill tightens around your throat and turns into fear. No, not fear. The feeling is worse than that. It's regret. You wasted your time here on this idyllic restoration of Earth. Why did you spend so much time alone, moping around the house, mourning your dead father, who probably would have wanted you to get more enjoyment out of your teen years, as well as your unusually early retirement? There's so much you could have done. You could even have reached out to Roxy again. Maybe she was waiting for you to do that. Maybe your withdrawal hurt her. Maybe she was heartbroken, just like you kind of feel right now. You study her perfectly stoic face and conclude nothing from it. Her expression reminds you of how Dave used to look when you first met for real, before years of living with Carcat softened him up. Impenetrable, cool. It's too late to figure out any of this now. You fucked it up already. Unless, of course, you choose to stay. Upon further examination, you realize that Roxy's stoicism isn't cold. There's concern there. She's displaying restraint, keeping quiet while you make up your mind. You're sweating, you realize. Cold sweat. Even worse than the anime nightmare sweat you woke up soaked in this morning.
John, you okay? Looked like you were gonna pass out there for a second.
Suddenly, Calliope bolts upright.
Of course. What was I thinking? This decision is far too important to be made on an empty stomach.
She fetches the picnic basket, which naturally has been sitting there on the tablecloth since the moment you arrived.
Here, before you choose which path you're going to take, you should decide what you'd like to eat. I have packed a wide variety of provisions, easily enough to satisfy the most ravenous picnic-goer's appetite. Behold, an array of savory delights for the carnally inclined. Or perhaps something for your sweet tooth, if a lust for treats is what stokes your desire.
Calliope produces 2 dishes from the basket and begins gingerly unwrapping them. The unwrapping is so ginger, in fact, that there's something almost dramatic about it. Like the opening theme to that boring sci-fi movie with the monolith and the bone-throwing monkeys should be playing as she peels away the cheesecloth. Shrapnel would have something to say about John Egbert's movie tastes here. But again, we are talking about the man who thinks that in character, John canonically thinks Ghostbusters 2 is an untouchable masterpiece, so...
But it is. Anyway.
On one plate is a pile of meat, rare, almost bleeding cuts from animals you can't identify. The other plate holds a generous heap of colorful, exotic-looking candy. You scoot to the side and peek into the basket to see if there's anything else. There's a book in there, but no more food. This is all there is.
Contemplate your lunch.
You put a finger to your lips and focus on the food with great intensity. You stop fretting about choices and heartbreak and eternity in Lord English. Your entire world narrows to a single point of light as you are utterly consumed by the overbearing decision about which of these absurd meals to have for lunch.
Meat or candy?
Meat or candy? The 2 possibilities pinball around your skull. Meat or candy? It's a tough choice. On any other day, you might be inclined to simply follow the whims of your cravings, but no clear victor surges to the forefront of your mind. Either option offers a tempting means of sustenance. You know the meat will be rich and filling, and if you're being honest with yourself, you haven't had the most robust diet as of late. You didn't even have breakfast. It's probably a good idea to eat something resembling a real meal for once. But you're no stranger to Calliope's taste, as far as carnivorous comestibles are concerned. You know every cut on that plate is rare to the core. It'll fill your mouth to bursting with juice, lie heavy on your stomach for hours to come as your body works to break down all the nutritious protein and fat. It might be tough to chew. It might be even tougher to swallow. Perhaps the candy is the better choice for a picnic like this. Something that'll go down easy and fill you with bright energy as you pass the time with your friends. You know you need to just let go sometimes and stop worrying about what others expect of you, or even what you expect of you. It's not a bad thing to enjoy yourself just for the sake of pleasure. But eat too much and all that sweetness could make you sick. Roxy and Calliope glance at each other in confusion as you deliberate over what to eat. You suppose it's taking you a while to choose, but each dish is appealing enough in certain ways. Each has its potential dietary drawbacks. You don't want to make a decision you can't stomach. Meat or candy, John? Meat or candy? You release your breath when you realize you've been holding it. You're being ridiculous. What's the sense of fussing over lunch? In the end, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you choose, it'll all be flushed down the toilet tomorrow. Just go with your gut. Don't sweat the small stuff. There are much more important things out there to fuck yourself up over. Choose. Oh, hell yeah, this is a choose-your-own-adventure!
Well,
Sort of.
did you fully process everything that was going on there?
Yes, I understand that there is a obvious... Well, what part? Of specifically the meat or candy choice, or just
Yes,
the
yes,
story?
the meat or
Well,
candy.
Well, yes. One is about how, I mean, it's broadly speaking, heavy with all the connotations that has, and sweet with all the connotations that has. It's a choice between those two things. So, broadly speaking, I would assume that means that... I don't know if that means lighter in tone or in content, or some combination thereof. But...
the metaphor is pretty literal here. It's something that's heavy and meaty and will really stick with you, or something light and sugary that you can talk about with other people.
That's what I was assuming.
So do you want to go in headlong, starting with something that will hurt, or something that will just make you feel unbridled joy right away? Or do you want to end on the hurt and end on the joy?
Or ending on the thing that is very serious and thought-provoking, or end on the thing that is silly and stupid and doesn't really matter.
Okay. Let's see. I think usually we have dessert after dinner, so let's start with meat. True?
That's how I would do it. All right. It's time to read about meat.
Oh boy.
Prepare yourself,
I feel
son.
like Nana knows more about this than the rest of us.
Nana, did you finish that?
But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I read both of them.
Oh.
And I have my own personal thoughts and opinions. I'll say that it's a very well-written tale.
Yeah, I didn't get very far.
Yeah, so far I've been sussing that, from what I can gather, the talk about the inside and outside canon is broadly saying, since Homestuck is an ode to postmodernism, that this is essentially canon to itself, but is not necessarily on the same level as the original Homestuck.
Yes. And also the fact that Homestuck is its own thing that can't have outside sources going into it.
Yes.
Like, that was the whole point of Lord English is already here.
Yeah.
He was already written into canon and couldn't exist if canon didn't exist.
Yeah.
Because he's in Homestuck, and also he's in the Homestuck Juju.
Yes.
All right, then. I guess we're getting meaty.
Okay.
Meat it up, son.
You can't beat my sweet meat for a special treat.
Get out of my shed.
Stay out of my shed.
Meat Epilogue 1. Meat was definitely the right choice, you think, as grease drips down your chin. The meat is cold and undercooked, so you have to grab it with both hands while you rend it apart with your incisors. It bursts in chunks, filling your mouth with blood and your throat with mangled knots of gristle and long strings of muscle fiber. You take big bites, almost too big to swallow, so big that you choke on the meaty mulch and hawk back some of it into your nasal cavity. You sneeze out a gooey rope of phlegm and flesh. You stop for a moment to wipe your face, but your chin is still slippery after you wipe the mess away. Slivers of meat catch between your teeth as you masticate with bestial enthusiasm. Use your thumbnail to fish them out.
Finish up.
Some of the blood is coagulated on the surface of the plate. You grab it from Calliope and lick it clean. She watches you, calm, placid, alien. Roxy has leaned forward to scrutinize your slovenly feasting, her eyes wide and intense. You stare back at them with your hands coated in unctuous organic matter and flecks of seared skin. The blood on your hands is so thin that it's like oily Kool-Aid pooling in your palm.
Think, suddenly, about all the many horrible crimes committed by Lord English.
God, that guy is the worst. The memory of his stupid face and his terrible art and all the abominable misfortune he's caused across multiple universes and timelines makes your meal start to curdle in your stomach. The meat sits there like a big lardy mass, a black hole bursting the universe apart around it. You feel like rocks are churning in your gut and your mouth begins to turn to water, hot and sour. The flavor of the afternoon air changes around you and it's too hot, almost suffocating. You swallow back a mouthful of pungent bile as your eyes swim and lose focus.
You know what you must do. I know what I must do.
Of course you know. What kind of guy would you be if you stayed here when you're the only one in existence capable of completing the grim task? A pretty shitty one who just sneezed up a chunk of raw meat in front of a girl you used to have a gigantic crush on.
I have to go back and kill Lord English.
You sure?
I think so. It'll probably be hard, but I think it's the right thing to do. Everyone is counting on me.
Roxy pulls back and takes a deep breath. It's a very thin breath and her bottom lip quivers a bit when she sucks it in. She looks disappointed, though you could be misreading her, as usual. Calliope looks, well, her face is a permanently grinning skull. You'll be damned if you know what's on her mind either.
Understand.
No one says anything for some time. A pleasant breeze rolls down from the hills. In the distance, the bell tower chimes twice. You notice that a group of carapacians have stopped to stare at you with beady-eyed fascination. The front of your shirt is stained with dark, slimy patches from the meat. Christ, why did you have to eat that meat like such a slob?
So, is that it? Should I, get going?
If this is your decision, then yes. There's no time to lose if the choice you have made is to matter.
Calliope closes up the picnic basket and stands. Roxy follows, taking Calliope's hand in hers again.
Say goodbye? Okay, then. Thanks for inviting me to this picnic. Guess I'll see you both when I get back.
Neither of them reply. You look from one to the other, then back again. A loud belch escapes your mouth, catching you completely off guard. The gastrointestinal ambush releases an invisible cloud of chewed-up protein odor into the public park. The gross ball of muscle roils and snarls in your belly like an unruly groundhog, prodded yet reluctant to come out and see its shadow. Ugh, why are you thinking about this?
Hug them, dummy.
You hesitate a few awkward moments too long. When you go to hug them, they've already turned away, leaving you standing in the middle of the park alone with your arms half raised, cupping the air. It's so pathetic that the eavesdropping carapacians finally scurry away, overwhelmed by their secondhand embarrassment. You didn't even know they could get embarrassed. You drop your arms and sigh. Time to get on with it. Before you leave, you fly back home and take one last look around Salamander Village. You breathe in the clean, crisp air, listen to the pipes chime, soak up the unfiltered sunlight. You then head inside for a wipe down, since it feels like you've been making face-down snow angels on the floor of an ill-kept slaughterhouse. You head to your bathroom and wash all the meat off your face, but somehow you still don't feel that clean. An invisible layer of oil seems to cling to almost every square inch of your body, no matter how hard you scrub. You go to your bedroom desk and dig out some stationery.
Right, dear Roxy.
You've never written a note more so quickly or with such clarity of heart and mind. When you're done, you write 9 more. Your hands leave grease stains on the paper. You leave 10 envelopes on your bed, arranged in a tidy circle with the names of your 10 closest friends written on them. Then, with absolutely no fanfare, you leave all of them in this idyllic world you've created behind and zap yourself back into canon.
Bro!
In the heart of the Troll Kingdom's capital city, Dave and Karkat are sitting on their couch with a foot and a half of space between them. Typically picturesque day outside, but Karkat has the curtains drawn shut all the way. This is part of their compromised living situation. Dave puts up with a trollish non-Euclidean architecture and bizarre social mores, and Karkat has adjusted his diurnal schedule to, in theory, see the sun.
Bro, you've got to check this out.
Karkat is leaning forward, munching on chocolate-covered beetles and totally absorbed in what he's watching. The glow from the television highlights the dark bags under his eyes. Dave reaches out and very gently pokes Karkat in the cheek. Karkat flinches out of his full-body slouch.
Not now, Dave. Jake's ass is on the TV again.
Stop ogling Jake's ass, this is important.
Who the fuck are you to tell me whose ass I should stop ogling? Look, it's absolutely hypnotic. I mean, not in a sexual way, per se.
Of course.
Dave casts a weary look toward the TV, where Jake English is sanely exhibiting what is definitely his best feature in front of a live studio audience. This is a regular highlight of his and Dirk's hit television show, Rumble in the Pumpkin Patch, a schizophrenic cross-section of rap battle and robot wrestling that Rose once described as an exploitative, almost Dada-esque clusterfuck of circumlocutory pretension and sweaty, homoerotic extriction. Jake came up with a title for the show, and Dirk absolutely loathed it. However, before Dirk could insist on an alternative, Jake had already posted an online poll putting his idea against whatever Dirk's lame idea was. Needless to say, the second option was much less popular. Karkat gestures at the televised spectacle, a bit helplessly.
It's all in the way it's being programmed by the station. It took me a while to notice because it's not like I'm making a point of staying glued to this phony televised human gladiator garbage. It's soft as fuck. They barely even try to make it seem real. Dave, I consider myself a cosmopolitan individual, a man of learning, but as a native Alternian, I'm actually fucking offended by this insulting display of namby-pamby pageantry. Anyway, the more I watch, I can't help but notice the camera's lecherous fixation on this boy's voluptuous posterior. Can't say I blame them, I guess. At least it shows they know exactly what's paying the fucking bills, because it sure as hell isn't the quality of the slam poetry.
Okay, who gives a shit about all that? Though it pleases me to hear you taking note of the economics of this broadcast since it's apropos to the topic at hand, but more on that later.
Apropos to fucking what? I don't have time to scope the latest meme, Dave. You're coming perilously close to cutting into my important leisure time as is.
Leisure time? This is all you ever do all day. Also, this is not a meme, it's much more important.
Oh, excuse me, hotshot. What possibly could be more important than the latest meme? That was a joke, FYI, now leave.
Jane is running for president.
What the fuck?
Dave scoots a foot and a half closer so they can both read the news on his phone. Karkat tips his head to the side to get a better view until it bumps against Dave's shoulder. Got the announcement right here.
You mean President of Earth?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would she want to do that?
I don't know. Crocker is just an ambitious woman, I guess.
This sounds fucking awful.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. Also, like, don't tell her I said this, but I think she's basically a fascist.
Why would I tell her you said that? When the fuck was the last time either of us had fuck all to do with Jane?
No, I know. Just like a figure of speech, I guess. Oh, also she's a fucking xenophobe.
Of course she's a xenophobe.
Karkat, without drastically altering his position on the couch, turns his head so that he can look Dave straight in the sunglasses.
Dave, I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of humans are.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Also, what the fuck does she even mean she's running? What a complete load of shit. She's a god. Which one of the toadying idiots in this planet would dare to run against her? She's going to win in a landslide, assuming she doesn't just waltz into the office uncontested.
Yeah, I don't disagree, which is why we have to stop her.
Huh? Dave, what exactly are you saying? Are you telling me you're gonna run against Jane?
Karkat's laughter is uproarious, incredulous. He reaches for another beetle as his guffaws subside and eats it in a manner he hopes will convey his casual contempt for Dave's insinuation.
Are you out of your fucking mind? Do you have an idea how rich she is?
Dude, we're all rich. We, like, invented the fucking economy.
Well, yeah, but not like Crocker rich.
Anyways, no, I'm not running. You are. Karkat stops chewing his beetle and does a literal spit take right into Dave's face.
Me?
Yeah, man, it's perfect. You're the ideal opponent to take her down and, to be honest, just what this planet needs.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
We established this how many years ago? I'm not a leader. I was never meant to be one. Jane probably is, although to be fair, I'm agreeing with you. She's a complete asshole. I'm just not the one to run an effective opposition campaign. Where? How? I wouldn't even know where to start.
Obviously you wouldn't do it on your own, I would help. I'd be like your campaign manager or chief strategy guy or whatever. Also, you're wrong. You're meant to be a leader and you would be a good one. Just not the kind of leader you always thought you'd be. Not a bellicose conquering dickhead who commands fear and respect. Just a guy who's cool and nice and actually cares about stuff and everyone loves them for that reason.
People don't love me.
You're breaking my heart, dude. Be right back. Gonna hit the toilet for a quick power sob.
Shut the fuck up.
It still amazes me how little awareness you genuinely seem to have of how insanely popular you are on this planet. It's fucking adorable.
You're wrong. All I see is Jake on TV and Jane in the news of stories about her stupid business and Dirk doing whatever fucked up shit he's doing with his celebrity presence. I see your mug a lot too, Mr. fucking political puppet master. You get more votes than me, and you know it. You're probably just a coward.
You only see famous humans on TV because you just avoid all Troll Kingdom channels deliberately. You hate it whenever you see yourself on TV. Don't pretend I don't notice you change the channel as fast as possible whenever you see yourself.
Well, yeah, well, maybe I...
Karkat hesitates, then slouches back into the couch cushions, restoring the customary 1.5 feet of space he and Dave usually keep between them, except when watching horror movies, eating chips, or talking about the top 600 stupid things Karkat saw earlier that day because he made his intrepid annual decision to go outside.
Maybe I don't actually like being famous, and maybe that's as good a fucking reason as any not to run for the fucking presidency of Earth. Not to mention the idea of an election is kind of a fucked up and weird thing to me culturally anyway, and I'm still kind of getting used to the idea that people can just choose their fucking leaders and not have the same old merciless bitch in power for several million years.
Okay, I won't make some commentary I could there. Well, what better way to acquaint yourself with democracy than to take a crack at high office yourself? Dude, seriously, you would absolutely kill it with a troll voting block. The entire kingdom would vote for you. They'd go ballistic if they heard a troll actually had the guts to run against Jane, let alone one of their heroes. And frankly, just between you and me, Jane is... How do I put this?
What?
Okay, I'll just be the one to come out and say it. She's gonna be a fucking disaster for the economy. I guess I have to admit, part of this, for me personally, it's...
What are you saying, Dave?
It's about Obama. Very slowly, Karkat raises his right palm and forcefully unites it with his own face. He barely even got a chance to prove himself. He was sworn into office and it was cool and everything was gonna be great, but then everyone died just a few months later because of meteors. Dude was just getting warmed up. So sad. I wonder if he would have fixed the economy. I bet he would have fixed the economy.
Dave, as much as I enjoy listening to your ramble through yet another chapter of freestyle Obama fanfiction, don't you already have a basis for knowing how presidency would have gone? I mean, wasn't he president in the timeline Jane grew up into?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, of course I know that. I just don't like to think about that much about that timeline. Doesn't really feel like it's canon?
Then some clowns take over the world or something?
I don't want to talk about it. The point is, in the world that mattered more, I mean, like, the one I belonged to that I used to imagine had a real future, that didn't involve meteors or a fish dictator or the American political landscape turning into a nightmarish daily joke. I still wonder what could have been. The O-Man could have saved us all, but instead he died probably. Or maybe not. Maybe there was like an escape hatch in the White House that led to his own secret presidential session of Spurb. What if he's just chilling there now?
Dave, I think we've covered your Obama secret session of Spurb theory well enough already.
I know. I'm just saying is all.
It's a beautiful dream. I fucking get it.
But yeah, it's more likely he just died. Maybe it doesn't have to be in vain. What if he died for our sins or something?
Sounds fucking meaningless.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what if, like, he could be reborn?
Yes, we've been over your Obama God-tier headcanons too.
No, like, reborn is you, metaphorically. You could be the great president he never got the chance to be. You could give the people hope and shit. You could inspire trolls everywhere. Or really all non-human kingdoms. Show them anyone could be a president. Not just an endless parade of rich humans who think they all know what's best for everybody.
Dave, I'm pretty sure anyone could be president. It always seemed to be to me that humans just seem to be more naturally ambitious, and that's why the power structures took the shape they did the last few millennia. I mean, I don't claim to be an expert in xenopsychology, but for some reason I struggle to imagine a fucking salamander getting the gumption to throw his crumpled hat into the ring for the presidency of Earth, or the Carapacians for that matter. These are not ambitious creatures we're talking about here, Dave. They're a huge flock of wool beasts, Dave.
Karkat, don't stereotype. Remember the mayor? Remember how at one point, a long time ago, he raised an army and rebelled against an evil king?
Oh yeah. Somehow I always forget he did that. Kind of mind-boggling, really. Holy shit, I missed the mayor.
Me too. Dave and Karkat both observe a moment of silence, a delicate and trembling pause of utmost respect to perhaps the greatest and purest being who would ever come forth from Paradox space. Dave pats Karkat's knee comfortingly, and Karkat lets out a quivering breath of sorrow, of remembrance. Oh yeah, they are! This is the hard one. We're getting pretty heavy implications. The mayor is fucking dead.
I missed you, Mayor.
Mayor's best girl. Into this reverent silence, Dave says... I think he would have been totally in favor of my idea, by the way. He loved democracy.
No shit, he was a fucking mayor!
I mean, forget all the lizards and chess guys for a second. Just imagine all the good you could do for the Troll Kingdom. You do a much better job of speaking to the injustices trolls face than Jane would.
What injustices?
Dude, please, where to even begin? I know Earthsea has generally been a pretty chill place to live, but there's been some shit going on that's legit creepy. All this population regulation bullshit that's been going on since we basically set up civilization and pieced out to the future. When you think about its long-term consequences, it's been fucking weird. Like, government being responsible for troll reproduction through cloning, a government that just happens to be predominantly human most of the time? Like, it makes sense on paper at first. No mother grub, gotta keep the race going and expand the population for a good while and get the numbers up. Till Kanaya gets here and hatches the grub, and then I guess a system of natural reproduction can take over in theory, but after so many centuries of that shit, doesn't the weird political imbalance, like, get entrenched? There's a measure of real concern and passion working its way into Dave's voice. Karkat, despite his typical front of loud indignation, hangs on every word. And once Rose and Kanaya crank out a few more broods in the caverns, I guess we're supposed to go think it's all fixed, right? Back to trolls as usual or something. But do you really think the human kingdom is going to just sit back and let the troll race proliferate wildly all over Earth? Turn it into another Alternian empire? Folks know about the history. They know about the Condescent and all the violence and the hemospectrum and shit. They're scared to death of the possibility that trolls could run wild all over the planet.
Dave, I know all this. In fact, you know all this because you've heard me say it to Kanai 1,000 times. Actually, in an effort to not go fucking insane, I try not to think about it anymore.
Well, maybe it's time to start thinking about it again. Bro, did you know sitting on the sidelines of the face of oppression is tantamount to siding with the oppressors?
Yeah.
You think a Crocker administration is really going to go through with plans to deregulate troll breeding? She knows exactly what her base wants. I can already see the dog whistles in this press release. She isn't going to do shit. And really, man, nothing else, and truly I mean nothing. Please, for the love of Christ, think about the economy.
Ah.
The outburst is all Karkat can do to release whatever tension Dave's impassioned appeal is causing to brew inside him. Motherfucker literally just told him to think of the economy. Jane has this reputation for being awesome at business, but IMO, she really just sucks. She doesn't seem to be remotely aware how she's leveraged her status as a god to become a big shot trillionaire. I think she thinks it's all pure business acumen, but I think she doesn't really know what she's doing. Fuckers left and right just be tripping all day to give her money hand over fist. Of course she's gonna milk her biz cred for all it's worth in this election. She's probably a much better politician than a businesswoman, actually. She's like, sinister as fuck? I mean, she hides me well, don't get me wrong. Although she isn't too hard on the eyes, which won't hurt her chances one bit. She's going to be brutal on their pocketbooks, just you wait.
I don't fucking believe this.
She doesn't know the nuances of sound, comprehensive fiscal policy like I do. My skills are fucking legendary. I manipulated the stock market to assume control of the literal majority of all currency on the planet once. Granted, the economy was run by lobotomized reptiles, but still. Wait, that was speciesist, sorry. The point stands, though, I know what I'm doing. What do you think is going to happen when Jane takes over and the economy crashes?
I don't know.
It's going to be pandemonium.
Will it actually be, though?
Well, I don't know. Okay, if shit goes sideways, I guess we aren't going to see, like, raggedy turtles and pauper chessmen standing in breadlines or anything. That's just the nature of alchemy-based post-scarcity economies. Depressions tend to be pretty mild, but it'll still be bad. A healthy economy is fucking important. For no reason other than it protects the societal context for what it needs to be fucking rich, like us.
Just a thought. Let's come up with a different campaign slogan than that, okay?
Yeah, but the point is just, I guess, she sucks and shouldn't be president, the end. You don't even have to think about economic shit, I can do that for you. You're like the treasury secretary or something. Please just tell me you'll do this. Do it for the trolls, do it for the economy, do it for the mayor. But most of all... Dave wipes an invisible tear from beneath the rim of his sunglasses. Do it for Obama.
God damn it, Dave. I don't really give a fuck about politics or being a leader anymore. And I think you know that. I don't care about this economy, and while I'm sure this Obama fellow was a hell of a guy, I couldn't give a less fuck about him either. But I do care about you.
Dave smiles.
So, I'll do it. Why not?
Nice! Oh yeah, you won't regret this. This is gonna be dope. I think we have a great shot too. My political savvy and economic genius and outrageous flair for subversive anti-establishment messaging and propaganda, and your big loud fucking mouth.
What the fuck?
I guess also your charisma and likability and shit.
Yeah, you might be right. I'm pretty sure I can fake those things well enough.
Oh, also, your weirdly sincere humility.
I prefer the term self-loathing, actually.
Okay, let's try to avoid that phrase on the campaign trail too.
This already sounds like a pain in the ass.
God, he's so fucking shrapnel-coated.
Yeah.
They're so in love.
There's a gap of silence in the conversation, long enough for the audio from the television to become noticeable. Jake is rambling out a truly dire piece of slam poetry that involves, with zero hint of irony, the terms Batty Fang and mad as hops. The neon light flaring out from the screen casts long waves of color across the black walls of the hive, and bounces off the glass of the framed print of Dave's least psychologically revealing Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff strip. Karkat sighs and rubs his face between his horns.
Can't I just read a bunch of bullshit you write for me off a teleprompter?
Yeah, there'll definitely be plenty of that. Dave grabs his tablet off the shelf. He pivots back around and points the pen straight at Karkat. The arc of his arm's motion is polished and decisive, even though it's been a long time since he's properly used a sword. But you also need to be natural and speak from the heart and shit. Just like, talk to your people about stuff they care about.
My people? You mean trolls?
Oh, yeah, I guess it sounded bad, sorry. But yeah, exactly. Trolls. It's gonna be your base, so you gotta rile them up. Inspire them. I don't think you need any fancy speeches to do that. You'll be a natural.
If you say so. So what do we actually do? I mean, next.
Dave plops down on the floor and gestures for Karkat to join him on the cold stone. He swipes the tablet on and taps the screen with a pen. Karkat lies down on his stomach and props his chin on his palm so he can watch Dave scribble political ambitions directly into the shittiest paint program on his OS. Time to talk strategy. We need to rally as much high-profile support to our cause as we can. But there are, some lines of loyalty to figure out.
What?
I mean, which of our friends are going to side with us and which ones will side with Jane? Pretty much all of us are famous and popular all over Earth to some degree. Some of us more so with certain kingdoms than others. Some key endorsements going either way could swing the whole election.
Oh, great. So it all comes down to how many famous humans like me better than Jane. We're fucked.
Well, not so fast. Let's think it through. You'll have overwhelming support in the Troll Kingdom, and so does Kanaya. She's pretty much a lock to be on your side. Dirk, unfortunately, is just as much a lock for Jane, I'm gonna guess. After that, it's probably a free-for-all. Roxy and Calliope will probably be neutral. They have a lot of pull with the Carapations, though, so that would be a nice score to sway them. Rose will probably claim neutrality at first, but I'm betting she can be controlled by her wife to our side. Once we get Rose converting, Roxy probably won't be too hard. As for Jade... They stare at each other. Karkat sighs and Dave wraps his pen against the tablet screen in a slow, uneven staccato. I think it's fair to say she's gonna be on our side.
Yeah.
Maybe a little too much so.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna be the one to say it, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Of course we want her help and her endorsement will go a long way, but I think we gotta sort out, like, a hierarchical approach to campaign strategy. Keep it organized and disciplined with roles well defined. Not let things get too murky with personal shit.
I think we're on the same page here, Dave.
Okay, cool. Anyways, let's come back to the Jade issue later. Anyways, let's see. Who else?
Egbert?
Right. John should be easy to convince, but I'm not sure how much of a factor he'll be in this campaign. Have no idea how long he'll be away on this mission Rose mentioned.
What? What mission?
I don't know. She's been hella cagey about it. Swore me to secrecy until the right time, whenever that is. Anyway, his endorsement would go a long way in swinging the consort kingdom.
That would be huge. Aren't there like 100 billion of those fuckers? Securing that voting block should be able to win the whole thing for us.
Well, no, the population isn't that big, but yes, it's by far the most populous kingdom. Swinging them our way should help a lot, but it won't be enough to decide the whole thing. Consorts overwhelm the other kingdoms in sheer numbers, but due to unscrupulous gerrymandering, all kinds of fucked up voter suppression policies, and some electoral counterbalancing measures to account for their ridiculous population growth rate, their voting power per capita is kinda pathetic. Also, it's hard to drive turnout. This may come as a shock, but legions of easily distracted, low-information amphibians, primarily concerned with eating bugs and farming goddamn mushrooms, aren't the most politically motivated demographic. So to get them out to the polls, we'll need to get them really excited.
Okay. I guess I'll have to trust your expertise on that, since I don't know the first fucking thing about how to inspire an unintelligent lizard.
Well, yeah, I don't either. That brings us to Jake. Jake's butt flexes on the television, as if in response. Karkat cannot avoid watching it from the corner of his eye.
Oh, fuck.
No, this is important. Jake is a huge wild card here. I'm sure his endorsement would be completely up for grabs. He could go anyway, including just getting turned off by the whole thing and staying apolitical. We have to be careful about how we approach him. Jake is the only one of us who's wildly popular in all 4 kingdoms.
Well, I can't argue with that.
Yeah, so an endorsement from him would be huge. Seriously, just running one ad of him doing his double pistol winking bullshit with a thing under it saying, "Vote Karkat!" might be enough to win the whole election. Just have to get the thick old bastard to agree to that, which could be tricky. And honestly, I'd be shocked if Jane hasn't already started carding his vote. There's no way she doesn't understand the political stakes.
So, it all comes down to Jake stakes then.
Pretty much, the Jake Stakes 2.0.
What? There was a 1.0? When did that happen?
Oh, that's like a whole story.
Is this gonna be another anecdote about the Jake squad I won't care about and don't want to fucking hear?
Yeah, that sounds like the exact kind of opinion you'd have about it, so yeah.
Then I don't want to fucking hear about it.
Okay. Shit, hold up.
What?
Dave fishes his phone out from his lap. Dirk's calling me.
What the fuck does he want?
I don't know. He usually just calls me out of the blue from time to time to talk shit. Usually about nothing whatsoever. He'll probably joke about how he needs me to cut off his head.
Huh?
It's a running gag he's been running into the ground for years. Motherfucker is dedicated to his memes, I'll give him that.
You said he's gonna be a Crocker loyalist, right?
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it.
You don't think he's trying to do some reconnaissance work here? Like, intel gathering?
He doesn't even know you're entering the race yet. No one does.
Okay, good. I guess you'd better answer then.
Okay, well, I missed the call while we were bullshitting about it. But yeah, I'll just call him back now. Dave hits the callback button. On the television, Dirk's phone begins ringing. Sup?
Hey, dude.
Dave hears a reply through his phone, and then a moment later through the TV due to the broadcasting delay. The whole show is stopped so that Dirk can take this call. The camera zooms in on where he's casually lying on the mat, bruised and a little bit bloody. In the background, Jake strikes an attractive cock-hip pose. He's spinning a revolver around on one finger, affecting an aura of attractive indifference. The look he's shooting his sparring partner is caught halfway between confused and exasperated. Karkat looks from Dave to the TV and back again.
Got your sword handy?
Always.
Good. See, I'm in a sort of bind here, and I'm afraid there's only one way out. Okay, I'm fucking leaving. John Zapp.
You zapped back into canon. It's been so long you'd forgotten what it feels like. The atmosphere smacks unmistakably of, how can you describe it? Relevance? Legitimacy? Funny how you would have never thought to put it that way until you left. It takes you a moment to recognize where you are, even though Rose's instructions were very specific. A place bright and gaudy and filled with the stench of teenage ennui. It's your old living room on the Gold Battleship, where you spent 3 years caught up in a lot of weird, furry romantic drama while learning to unlove everything you once held sacred. 3 long, boring years. Years that, technically speaking, never even happened now that you think of it. You have the very retcon powers that just brought you back here to thank for that. You barely have time to take in the sick, nostalgic feeling that all the globes and tangle buddies and avant-garde mime art evokes. The fridge pop opens and out roll Arania and Gamzee. Gamzee honks and his codpiece jiggles ominously. Arania staggers to her feet, looking rather pleased with herself, until she notices you and gapes in bewilderment.
What are you doing here?
Rose was perfectly clear about what to do next.
You make a fist and sort of flinch and look away when you do it. No matter how many years you've spent living on a planet with absolute gender parity, this feels wrong. Still, you hit Urania pretty fucking hard, underestimating your own strength just as badly as you did the last time you clobbered a hapless circuit. She goes flying back, hits the couch, and KOs instantly into a pile of smuppets. You then take her wrist in your hand, slide the ring off her finger, and pocket it.
Isn't there something you're forgetting?
Gamzee stares up at you with his horrible, limpid eyes. There's something serene, sinister, and sensual all at once about the look he's laying on you. It sends a shiver up the whole length of your spine. Fuck no.
Do everyone a favor and put an end to the preposterous narrative relevance.
You wisely decide that this clown will lend nothing valuable to the narrative whatsoever if he's allowed to remain outside of your childhood refrigerator. You put both hands on his chest and shove him into the fridge where he belongs. He goes easily, issuing only a pair of weak honks in protest. Honk! Honk! You slam the fridge shut and resolve to never think about Gamzee Makara again. Hopefully my ad-libbed honks or honks were appropriate and
good.
Not.
Zap to the next plot point.
You arrive in the land of heat and clockwork in a flash of light. A column of brutally hot air blasts up from the lava below and instantly hits your entire body. Luckily, you're fairly immortal, so the only damage it does is to fog up your glasses a bit. Through condensation, you can make out the shapes of Dave and Jade below, as well as two more of you hovering in the air above. Both Johns turn to look at you. On the ground, Dave is talking in a particular cadence, one that is familiar to you, his longtime best buddy. Casual, wandering, verging on droning. It's a good indication he'll be monologuing for a while, and probably already has been. I'm serious. The thing is, being a time guy, like actually mastering time travel, I'm pretty sure what that involves is learning to never use it. See, it's like karate. Well, it's more like what they say about karate. It's you learn it so you don't use it. We all know the truth is karate is that if you know karate, then obviously in reality you use it all the time. Like doing lethal fucking crane kicks and sweet karate chops while walking down the street just because you can. It's a goddamn no-brainer. That's what you do with karate. John, what the fuck are you doing here? Or wait, actually 3 Johns? Hey 3 Johns, what the fuck are 3 Johns doing here? It's a fair question, which logically should have been directed to the oldest and most knowledgeable John. Nevertheless, one of the younger Johns replies first.
I don't know. John, don't worry about it. I'll take things from here.
Johns, don't get me wrong, it's cool that you all randomly dropped by again, but this wasn't really the best time. We were kind of in the middle of a thing here.
Whoops, sorry. Actually, I only came here to swoop in and zap this John away without being seen. To retcon away the mess I made earlier. I didn't expect to see another John here. Hey, other John. I said I'll handle it. I'm the only one who actually knows what's going on here.
God damn it, Johns, what the fuck did you do?
Young Dave, please. Let me deal with the Johns first, then I'll explain.
Young Dave? Oh, yeah, why are you fucking adult now? Can you grow up and start time traveling, dude?
Someone tell me what the fuck is happening.
Johns, there's no reason for you to hang around anymore. Not to sound like a wet blanket, but the things you're trying to accomplish are now useless. So you can just zap away and do whatever you want. Useless? Wait. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'm sure you could still go and do what I did when I originally did what you're currently trying to do.
Jesus, John.
In fact, it will still probably be a very rewarding experience. Some of my best memories happen right after you do what you're about to do next. The point is, you should just go do it, so that you aren't here anymore. I'm here to make sure some new and different important things happen, and those don't include you. Oh. Okay.
The useless Johns zap away. You sincerely hope that they have a beautiful and fulfilling youth. No, John, what the fuck have you done? Is this some time travel shit? Please don't tell me you've been spending the next however many years bungling through time like this, because to be honest, if what I witnessed is even remotely indicative of shit you get up to on a recurring basis, then your future is almost too embarrassing to even think about. And this is coming from a teenager who was just in the middle of an angsty episode.
It's true.
No, Teen Dave. This is not an all representative of my habits as an adult, but thanks for the concern. I'm not time traveling, and neither were the other Johns. I've used my retcon abilities to travel here from the future in a manner of speaking.
Sounds fucking stupid.
It is stupid, but that's just how things are.
a little confused. I'm supposed to be hunting you down and capturing you, but I'm not sure if the adult version of you counts. I think the Condess might just be confused if I brought her an adult John. There will be a lot of questions that need answering, that's for sure.
No, you don't need to capture me. And you wouldn't be able to even if you wanted to, since my existence literally transcends the confines of canon.
Well, I guess that simplifies things then?
Yep, pretty much.
In that case, would you mind giving me and Dave a few minutes to wrap up our conversation? We were sort of in the middle of something important, I think.
No, you really weren't. Sorry to be the bearer of lame news, like I just was to the other Johns, but whatever you were doing doesn't matter anymore. Nothing that's happening here matters at all. This session, this whole takeover by the Condess, this isn't how a universe gets made.
It's not?
No. Well, I mean, it is, but it already happened. We already made it. We've been living in it for years already from my perspective.
Oh yeah? How is it?
Pretty cool. I mean, a little boring at times, but hey, that's life.
Yeah, that's about how I thought it would be. So what now? If it's all a done deal, like preemptively speaking, can we all just relax or what?
Actually, no.
Fuck.
I just realized why she sent me to this point in time to start recruiting you all.
What? Who?
Rose.
Why'd she do that? And what do you mean recruit? What the hell is going on?
This is the moment just after you made your legendary cue ball sword. You're gonna need it.
For what?
To come fight Lord English with me.
Dave's eyebrows descend beneath his sunglasses. You feel pretty bad because you're about to completely circumvent the life-changing epiphany he's just had that you know for a fact will make him a happier, chiller, and altogether more well-balanced human being. Oh shit.
John, he isn't going to fight Lord English just yet. He is staying right here. Old lady's orders.
Actually, yes he is. And so are you. We all are.
Oh my god, how dare you!
Jade, you're brainwashed. Sorry, but nothing you're saying now means anything. It's fine, though. You'll stop being brainwashed once I zap you outside the influence of the Condess.
Zapping me anywhere.
Yes, I am. Watch this. Zap Grimbark Jade out of there.
You set a hand on Jade's shoulder and zap her off to a better place. Then you touch down on the concrete surface where the whole pointless confrontation was taking place, and you can talk Dave around whatever it is he's going through right now. Dave, like his ecto-sister, really needs to get in an absurd amount of extraneous words before he can fully process the situation. The mayor tips his head at you and fiddles with his sash. God damn you, Mr. Mayor. So what do we do next?
Well, I'll leave you to hang out with Jade for a bit while I go round up the others.
What others? Like, everyone?
Yeah, Rose and the other 4.
I see. So, sorry if I seem a little slow here, I'm just trying to figure this out. You're telling me that I made the sword because I'm destined to defeat Lord English, and we've all been training for that day our whole lives to some extent, more or less. And we were actually successful here, like we overthrow the Condess and make a universe and everything. And then, we sit on our asses for several years in the new universe and become adults and lead mostly boring lives instead of going off to fight him?
Yes.
Guess that makes sense. Now that I think about it, that's probably what I would want to do by the time we finally wrap up this whole hot mess.
Yep, it is what you wanted to do, and pretty much everyone else agreed, including me. So that's what we did.
Which, I guess begs the question. It seemed pointless at the time, and nobody could be asked to go fight him when we all had our shit together. Why does it suddenly become important to go back and beat his ass years later, after we become a bunch of lazy adults with boring lives?
I pretty much had the same question, Dave. There are probably some pretty good answers to that. Definitely some complicated answers. But, to be honest, I kind of forget what they actually were.
God damn it, John.
It has something to do with canon unraveling and such. We all live outside canon in the future, and if we don't go do this, everything will stop meaning anything.
Does anything you just said actually mean anything in the first place?
That's a great question, Dave. One that I can't say I'm qualified to answer. I think the bottom line here is, this is what Rose said we had to do, so that's why we're doing it.
Sounds like a bullshit reason if I ever heard one.
You might be right. But is it less of a bullshit reason than any other reason we currently have to go fight him?
Damn, you're right. I don't know how you did it, but you somehow instantly sold me completely. Fuck you, adult Egbert.
Still got it.
You zap Dave off to where he needs to go. The mayor is still staring at you, blinking his buggy little eyes. You shoot him a warm smile and a thumbs up before bouncing off into the ether of infinity. The stands of the Cantown Memorial Arena are packed front to back with audience members from every kingdom. Presently, the crowd is going nuts, enthralled by Jake English's skillful posing and mollified by the deeply theatrical stave dive that Dirk has just taken onto the mat. Dirk has, in fact, unquestioningly eaten shit. His shit-eating was so brutal that no one, except maybe Jake, cares that he's taking a phone call in the middle of a live broadcast. And no one should, really. The broadcast has been going for 3 hours already. Dave takes a seat on the couch, right in Karkat's butt groove. He observes his battered ecto-father, who is lying inside a wreath of busted robot limbs like a piece of absolute garbage. Bro, I'm watching you on the tube, and I gotta say, while the beatdown you just received was as thorough as was humiliating, I'm afraid as usual the solution to this problem should probably not involve your decapitation. You fucking drama queen.
Damn, are you sure?
Yeah, Jake just kicked your ass. It's really all there is to say on the matter.
You're probably right. But still not entirely sure we should be so quick to rule out my beheading as a catch-all solution to any given problem. It really could save us all a lot of trouble in the future, especially me.
It's really funny that how this meme we have going here continues to be exactly as funny as the day it was established.
Isn't it always, though?
Yeah? By the way, how did you get your ass kicked so bad? Jake sucks and his raps are fucking awful. Please tell me this garbage show is as rigged as it looks. On the TV, Dirk makes an elegant hand sign that once might have represented solidarity with some ancient coastal rap group, but now has been utterly divorced from its cultural context here on Earthsea. The camera pans away from him and over the crowd. It zooms in on a young crocodile wearing an oversized t-shirt with Jake's highly marketable ass plastered over it and the phrase, "Tally-ho!" written in big bubble letters.
Dave, there's no such thing as as showmanship. I'm sure I don't need to explain this to you, of all people.
Okay, cool, it's fake, I'm just making sure.
We really don't like to use that word.
Oh, okay.
Holding back a little to achieve certain results doesn't necessarily mean you're participating in a farce or rigging the event. We do this all the time. We hold back our thoughts, our true feelings, our full potential. We disguise how much we know about what and when for many purposes, to ease relations, to let others behave naturally and make up for their minds without undue intervention, to wait for the right moments to show our hands, to pick our battles. In life, there are many reasons to show restraint, which would never be regarded as an attempt to rig reality.
Oof. My dog, you're full of some shit today, aren't you?
Absolutely. When it comes to theater, there are just as many reasons for restraint. To build tension, to set the stage, to give people someone to root against.
Is that what you're doing now? Making people root against you?
What? By losing a round? No, man, that's just standard pacing stuff when it comes to Battlecraft.
No, I mean by holding up the whole fight by talking to me. I can see you on TV. They're booing you, dude. The crowd has indeed finally exhausted both its patience and its thirst for the ceaseless ogling of Jake's impressive glutes. The camera swings around to focus on Dirk, who, since landing on his admittedly second-rate ass, has not moved except to make arcane rap-related hand gestures. The excitable salamander manning the camera switches to a fisheye lens for some unfathomable reason, giving the whole exchange an air of demented absurdity. Dirk's sunglasses distort and stretch to dominate the whole screen.
Oh, then yes, I guess that's what I'm doing.
Dirk, are you going to be much longer with your telephone call? The crowd is getting feisty. You didn't get too badly winded from our last scrum, did you, Dirk?
No, Jake, I'm fine. I'll be just a minute.
What about the agitated rabble? They're starting to throw things.
I don't know. Do a dance or something? Sing a song? They love anything you do.
Okay, sounds stupid, but I'll try. Jake tips an imaginary hat toward center stage and begins doing the Charleston. Dave is subjected to an entire fisheye lens full of Jake's booty shorts flexing and constricting against his tanned thighs. Just as Dirk predicted, the crowd immediately loses its shit, except for a single care patient in the front row, who continues to glower at Dirk with an expression of absolute and total contempt. Why do you want people to hate you so much? It's fucked up.
You're reading way too much into it. If I wanted another round of embarrassing, indulgent, and mutually masturbatory psychoanalysis, I would have called my daughter instead.
Do I need to point out how fucking weird what you just said was, or can I start going without saying at this point?
I think it can go without saying.
Nice.
The point is, playing myself up as a villain figure in this hacky rap pageant has nothing to do with getting people to dislike me. Besides, everyone loves a good villain. When they boo, they don't really mean it. I think you'd be surprised by how popular I actually am.
I don't know, man. Something flies out of the camera and smacks Dirk in the side of the head before flopping out of view of the camera. He doesn't react or make a facial expression at all. Did someone just throw a diaper at you?
There's gonna be some diapers, yeah.
Sounds bad.
The point is, this is much less about me and more about providing a foil for Jake's heroism and charisma. It's very important that his popularity continues to be cultivated to maximize his political capital.
Political capital? What the fuck are... Okay, how long have you known about the Jane thing? I mean, is this something you've been planning for like a long time, or...
Planning is such an intense word.
God damn it.
Look, let's just say there have been some conversations. Does that meet with your approval?
Jane is such a shitty candidate, dude. She's gonna be so shitty.
I thought you'd feel that way. I respectfully disagree.
I guess she's a good friend of yours and all, but even you have to admit how far up her own ass she is.
Of course. I consider it to be among her best qualifications for the job.
Christ. Okay, if nothing else, have you at least taken into account the devastation to the economy this will cause?
You know perfectly well how much we differ on fiscal policy. Maybe this isn't the best time for one of our epic debates on the subject.
Yeah, what I was thinking. Wasting the time of the dude currently holding up a televised rap contest so bad he's getting diapers thrown at him.
Dave, I think if you search your soul, you'll come to the same conclusion I have. Jane is just what this planet needs. We've all had our fun here, but it's easy to overlook the fact that civilization on Earthsea is hardly a sustainable proposition. Just beneath the surface, it's quite dangerous and unstable place.
I know that. That's why I actually think it would be cool to have a president that is good instead of bad.
He's not as great as you think.
What? Who? Obama? How dare you?
No, fool. Carcat.
Oh.
I think your heart is in the right place, but dude is a complete amateur. He'll get eaten alive. I also have a hard time imagining he even wants the job. Really, it's an awful idea for him to even run. Think about how much it's going to inflame the interspecies tensions on this planet. Is that what you want? I'm happy for both of you, really. It's nice that you encourage and support each other in this way, but you're sending him on a fool's errand which can only end badly.
Dave opens his mouth to argue, but something else occurs to him. Wait, how do you even know he's entering the race? We just decided this.
A competent political operative has his ways. Besides, it's always pretty obvious to me you'd react this way the moment the announcement was made.
Okay, that's kind of creepy, I guess, but it doesn't change anything. He's running for president. He's gonna fucking win. End of story.
Fair enough.
And now I'm wondering, since you and Jane have been planning this for a while, how many key endorsements have you got locked up? If you already got Jake on your side, then I guess we might as well just fucking quit.
I wouldn't worry about that. He and I don't quite have the rapport we once did. He's over me and doesn't spare opportunities to make ostentatious demonstration of his claim. Basically, he doesn't like being told what to do, especially not by me. So it's fair to say, as of now, he's still fully in play. Not that I should be encouraging you, really.
You are one double-talking son of a bitch, you know that? I can't tell if you don't want us to run or if reverse psychology mind-fucking us into running.
Does it matter?
I guess not. Like I can just stand around and wait for President Crocker to, write fucking grammar laws into the Constitution.
Good. That's a heroic attitude to have, which I'm pleased to hear. Even if your plan is stupid, which it is, and even if Carcat would be an atrocious president, which he would...
Nuh-uh!
Sorry to cut this short, but diapers are starting to come down pretty hard right now, and some of them haven't even had their babies removed.
What?
It was a joke. Goodbye, Dave.
Dirk hangs up the phone and wipes off his face. The mood in Cantown Memorial Arena is tense, snapping and popping from the dual cooling and heating of the audience's expectations and tempers. An uneven silence begins to fall over the stadium as Dirk hops to his feet. Jake can't help but watch the motion, raking his eyes over the muscles shifting beneath the skin of Dirk's neck and arms. There's something implacably magnificent about Dirk Strider, Jake thinks, untamed like a wild game beast of incredible size and strength. Of course, their history together is never far from Jake's mind, however many years it's been since their last tussle of an amorous nature. The old dramas and triumphs in the days of Spurb. Dirk's companionship has been taxing to the heart, to say the least, and yet he's taught Jake so much about combat, philosophy, life, love. But sometimes, despite their checkered and problematic past, Jake wishes that he could seize Dirk by the proverbial horns and wrest him bodily into becoming a much more agreeable fellow. Then again, who would Dirk be if he weren't so contentious and imperious? Certainly not someone to inspire such wistful lollygagging, Jake cannot help but observe.
Sorry for the momentary diversion, Jake. Now, where were we?
Momentary? Gadzooks, man, you were on the phone for like half a friggin' hour! I know you like to get the crowd all hot and bothered, but we're supposed to be professionals here.
You're right, my bad. Won't happen again. How about you kick off the next round? I bet this crowd will settle its shit right down the moment you drop the latest rhymes you've been tinkering with. You know the ones.
Gasp! You don't mean...
Oh, but I do.
Jake's face lights up. He composes himself, adjusting a bow tie, although he's not wearing one, and making a vague gesture like he's twirling one end of that mustache Dirk has not let him yet grow. Dirk lets him go with a gentle smile, like the sort you give to a dog for performing a trick adequately. Jake responds to the signal to an Olympic athlete hearing the starting pistol. He was born for this. Wait, Jake confirmed puppy girl? Tally-ho, it's me, Jake McGee, popping my pistols off, 2 shots and a kiss. My aim is tops, I never miss. 1 shot to the heart and the other to your lips. I'm heedless, you can't impede this. While all these cads are all hat and very little cattle so weak, one fears they might be fiendless. As I prattle and digress, you might try to make your regress in the middle of the battle, but surely ye jest, faddle. My rhymes are known to bring the rattle. I rattle those bones right down to the bit, and a mellifluous old chap who knows how to take a hit. I'm the tip top of the morning, a rip-roaring halt to your snoring. Like pouring butter on bacon, their hunger awakens. All the rascally scalawags and dastardly jackanapes always ask of me, mate, what is shaking? With golden gas pipes such as Jakings. I'm dodging their shade and ducking their jape slings, while my rump stokes a thirst that my rhymes have been slaking. I'm not sure if I did that justice, but...
That's okay. We love a white boy rap. It's supposed to be bad.
That's true. Hopefully I can at least maintain the transatlantic accent properly. The crowd, as Dirk rightly predicted, has settled this shit right down. It's not due to any accidental brilliance on the part of Jake English, but rather due to an abashed but loyal brand of pity. The kind a devoted fan cannot help but feel when they see a beloved celebrity make an ass out of themselves during a live broadcast they have waited 2.5 years in line to buy a ticket for. Dirk's phone begins going off again. When the splendid lads and ladies ask me how do you do,
Whoops, Jake, sorry to cut you off. Looks like I'm getting another call. Really need to take this one. Gonna have to wrap this battle up sooner than scheduled.
The casual flick of his wrist, Dirk snaps out a bright red tranquilizer handgun and shoots Jake in the neck. Jake's glasses crack when he hits the mat. A chorus of boos rise up from the crowd like groundwater. Dirk artfully dodges a bucket of obscene troll fluid to field yet another very important personal call.
Yo, Rose, what's up?
You read the prompt?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, look up.
The sky is really blue, but it's a different kind of blue than Earth sees sky. It's less somehow, like someone took a photo of the sky and turned the contrast down a little, just enough to make the clouds blend into the horizon. That is to say, it isn't the kind of sky promised by a paradise planet, just an ordinary one. You suddenly realize how much you've missed the ordinary as opposed to the supposedly perfect. You've been away from home almost as many years as you lived there. It's not just the sky. Everything else is exactly and nothing like you remembered it. The scent of damp grass, the quality of the air, the solitude. There's nothing but white houses and maple trees as far as the eye can see. A woodpecker raps away incessantly at the tree with a tire swing outside your old bedroom window. You couldn't think of anywhere else to go, so you and your little army are sitting in a circle in your old backyard exactly 1 week before the meteors hit. It's you, Rose, Dave, Jade, and all four of your teenage progenitors, each dressed in god-tier garb. No trolls. No one who can die from anything less than a heroic sacrifice. At least this is what you assume to be the reasoning for Rose's instructions to assemble your party this way. Wind slices down the streets, between the neat rows of bungalows. It's chilly, carrying air from the mountaintops with it. Even that feels different. The wind moves through you now, under your skin and right into your bones, skimming their hollows the same way it does the homes of your salamander neighbors or the open mailbox in front of your childhood house. The smell of a cake baking wafts from the open window, and the sick stench of browning sugar fills the yard. You used to hate that too, but now it makes you want to.
Dude, don't cry in front of all the cool teen versions of your friends.
You hold back your tears with a big, ugly snort. Jake is sort of ruining the mood anyway by bouncing away on your old green slime pogo. Doesn't he realize how dangerous that thing is? Of course not, the fool. Dave fractures the silence by broaching a subject that's on everyone's mind but yours, apparently. So what's going to happen to everyone we left in the wrecked timeline?
Well, I don't know, actually. I've been to that timeline 4 times now, and it's always pretty much goes to shit.
Oh.
This has been bothering me as well. Is Kanaya going to be okay? And by Kanaya, I guess I mean everyone?
Yeah, what about Karkat and Terezi and the mayor?
Oh my god.
What?
Actually, Dave, I hate to say it, but I think John might have actually saved the mayor by bringing us all here.
What? What could that possibly even mean?
I just remembered, before John zapped us all here and unbrainwashed me, I think I was gonna kill the mayor.
What the fuck, Jade? No! Jade, that is seriously uncool.
I was gonna kick him right into the lava!
That is fucked up on so many levels, I don't even know where to begin. It's like an Escher staircase of cartoon villainy. I got nothing. It's so...
Grimbark? Woof woof.
Jesus, no, Jade, it's stone cold evil. Can't believe you just said that shit and then woofed at me. I can't even look at you right now.
Everyone, can we...
Everyone turns to look at you immediately, like you're an authority, but you kind of are. You're struck with a sudden and uncomfortable realization that you are the only adult in the yard. You've never felt like an adult until this moment. 18 came and went and nothing really changed, except you're pretty certain that you could grow a bitchin' mustache now if you wanted. And you might even have one by now if you didn't feel a sense of duty to uphold the sacred Egbert family tradition of shaving at least once per day, even if it isn't really necessary. You owe at least that much to the memory of your departed father.
Let's chill out for a minute. I'm sure this is all very confusing to all of you. About the timeline you're leaving behind, yeah, I get it, it's weird. I've already left 1 major timeline behind. Well, 2 if you count the one I just came from, where we're all adults. The truth is, I have no idea what happens to these timelines, and all the people living in them, when I just zap out of them to use my Redcon powers to change stuff, they might stop existing completely, I don't know. The thing is, we can't really think about it. It's tough, but if we're all acting like heroes here and trying to do the right thing, then we have to put it all behind us. It's a sacrifice we're making. I mean, we're risking our lives by fighting a powerful monster, sure. But the sacrifice I'm talking about is saying goodbye to the life we thought we belonged to, and all the people in it. Probably forever. It sucks. I'm sorry I had to ask this of all you, but there's no other way. Everyone who has ever existed and will ever exist is counting on us. I think. So yeah. Shrug.
It's all you can think to do to punctuate your speech of lukewarm inspirational value. Judging from the confused looks from the others, all of them may share your assessment of your own oratorical skills, except for one person. She's perked up at your spiel, regarding you with alert and admiring eyes.
John, I know we just met and all, but that was a fine-ass speech, and I don't know if I speak for the rest of my peeps here, but I'm fucking psyched. Let's do this shit.
She wonks at you. You weren't prepared to get passively hit on by the definitely not legal version of a girl you used to have a crush on at the age she was when you first met her, only a few hours after you watched the actually legal version of her engage in passionate hand-holding with her possibly aromantic skeleton alien monster girlfriend. You start to sweat, and again the unwelcome odor of undercooked meat emanating from your body makes itself known to your nose.
Oh. Thanks. Anyway, we need to make battle plans.
You quickly distance your mind from any additional discomforting thoughts about your old and semi-ex-flame, and propel yourself into a wildly unrehearsed tactical planning session. You review each of your abilities, strengths, and weaknesses, and then cobble together a reasonably sound approach to besieging a young and bratty version of Lord English by way of surprise attack. The planning is mostly disorganized and structureless, though some common themes that often recur involve you and your original 3 friends leading the charge, since you are the oldest and wisest, and therefore the strongest, with the exception of Jade, whose gaudy array of powers make her the most formidable of the group, bar none. Aside from that, it appears a consensus is the melee will likely devolve into an absolute free-for-all, at least going for the general patterns of incoherent banter, shit-talking, and points of pedantic tactical disagreement plaguing the jam session. You overhear someone making mention of a huge gay hope bubble? That can't be right, but you didn't catch who said it. A flamboyant pink spell? Yeah, this conversation is off the rails now. At the exact moment you believe the meeting has outlasted its usefulness, Jake does you the favor of effectively pounding the gavel for adjournment by rocking back a bit too far on your lawn pogo and launching himself over the top of the ride on the next bounce. He face plants right into the dirt. Jeepers! Dirt goes to help your yard clean the Jake off its dirt. Jade follows to help out. It seems she wants to chat with Jake, considering it's the first time they've met from her perspective. Some eruptions of chatter can be heard from other members of the group. It's easy to forget since the reunion between your friends and all your young relatives happened so long ago from your point of view. This is all quite novel to everyone here. They've hardly had a moment to process it since your plan to drag them all off to fight Lord English has understandably stolen the thunder of an otherwise poignant homecoming. Poor kids, you think? You decide to give the teens some space to work through their shit before you take off to save the universe. You end up wandering all the way around the other side of your house and back until you reach a window facing the neighbor's fence. You can see straight into your dad's study from here. You go still, feet rooted to the ground, heart hammering in your ribs. Your dad's sitting right there, smoking his pipe and operating his professional-looking, boring, gray PDA. He's got the kitchen timer set up on his desk, and you can hear the notes of his favorite fatherly jazz album filtering out through the window, which is open only an inch. The sun is hitting the glass in such a way you can't see his face.
This is probably the last time you'll ever have a chance to talk to him.
The urge is overwhelming, but you can't, and not just because your feet won't move and your throat is closing up. It's just that it would be a really bad idea to bother him. It would totally freak him out to have an adult version of his son show up out of the blue and knock on his window like a creep. He probably wouldn't even recognize you.
Fair enough. It's time to go, John.
You return to the backyard. Your teen friends have split off into genetically segmented groups. Roxy and Rose sitting in the grass, Jade and your shared ecto-parents laughing together by the green slime pogo, and the Striders leaning against the farthest fence, with a tense 1.5 feet of space between them. It's heartwarming. Something doesn't feel right about it to you, possibly for selfish reasons. It's the selfishness of your own perspective, wanting the memories you had of the reunion between all these people to be the most notable and legitimate manifestation of this event. To see the moment echo or play out all over again, to overhear the heartfelt confessions repeat themselves, it feels cheap. To you, that is. To the man who lived it all through it all before and selfishly doesn't want to have the memory tarnished with a tawdry reprisal. An exhibition of counterfeit emotional catharsis among pale shadows of those you care about most in the world. You wonder, do you see these teen versions of your friends as real? Are you treating them at Rose's behest as simple puppets? Doing your part to insist they fill friend-shaped recesses in an essential plan to stabilize all else that can be considered important? A distinction no longer applying to them? Do you care at all about whatever fate it may be that you are sentencing these children to? Are you becoming as complicit in the fatalistic evils of Paradox Space as Lord English himself? Are you becoming a monster, John Egbert? You can't bear to watch them bond any further in this. Nor can you tolerate another moment of your self-incriminating reverie. You wait one more minute before breaking it up, but not a second longer.
Hey kids?
Please, adult John, don't do that.
Rose gets up from the grass, elegant as a fold in paper, and brushes down her skirt. She tilts her head at you, looking very much like your Rose did when she saw you off that morning. It's obvious she's trying very hard to hide her apprehension.
Is it time to go?
Yeah, I mean... No, if you want to be technical, I can zap us wherever, whenever. We have all the time in the universe if we want it.
But if we don't leave now, you're afraid we never will?
After all these years in the reverse direction, she still has your number.
I guess it's true that people don't really change. They just grow up.
Rose gives Roxy a strange look, appearing to silently acknowledge an entire conversation that has been taking place using a great volume of words that aren't being spoken.
I guess.
She smiles.
Get the show on the road.
Okay, everyone, I've never zapped this many people before, so let's all just, hold hands maybe in a circle? I mean, that should work.
God, this is so lame.
It's not lame. It's perfect.
Nah.
Shh. Alright, is everyone ready then?
Only Jade says yes enthusiastically. Everyone else takes a deep breath and looks around at each other. Hands are taken, some tentatively, some firmly. When all sweaty teenage palms are correctly clasped, you place your own hand on Jade's shoulder and concentrate on where you need to go. The last thing you hear before zapping away is your dad's kitchen timer going off in his study. The boxing bell is going off like it's having a fit. Dirk has to stick a finger in one ear to hear what Rose is saying over the cacophony of booze and buckets being lobbed towards center stage. He considers it all pretty fucking annoying, so he flips off the crowd and jumps the ropes. Always a good idea to abscond from the stadium before the customary show-end riot hits full swing. The last standing robot scoops up Jake's unconscious body and cradles him to its chest before blasting off through the roof. On the other end of the phone, Rose lets him know what's up.
It's not so much what is up as what is down, the answer to which is proverbially me. I mean that both physically and philosophically, by the way.
You're down philosophically?
Yes.
I'm not sure what that actually means.
What doesn't it mean, Dirk?
Glad to see that my genetic predisposition for melodrama is still alive and well in my slime progeny, even after all these years.
Please don't interrupt. This is important, and I'll need all the energy I can spare to sustain even a heavily monologic transmission of the relevant facts.
I see. Forgive my brief, casual interjection into the conversation you initiated. Please continue.
Thank you. Anyway, the matter at hand is my condition, with which you're already familiar. I've struggled to devise the right way of telling you without causing undue alarm, which would unquestionably trigger the overbearing tendency of yours to solve the problem for me, which is not the kind of circumstance my constitution can withstand these days. I can barely lift a wrist to my forehead to telegraph my infirmity of late. Your bullshit is precisely the 1,000-pound feather that could knock me clean through my apartment's plate glass window.
This is troubling to hear, of course. But rest assured, I'm taking solace in the fact that your infirmity doesn't seem to have spread to your vocal cords yet.
See, Dirk, this is exactly the shit I don't need from you on this day.
Sorry.
The bottom line is this. I'm ascending, and it is terrible.
Rose adjusts her position on the couch with the body language of one about to dive into the latest gossip about a mutual friend. The mutual, in this case, her tortured psyche.
Years of refining my sphere of light powers have cursed me with what is approaching your infinite prescience. Dwelling in this idyllic post-canon realm has worn down the barriers separating my primary consciousness from the memories and experiences of all my doomed alternate selves, which were forgotten and discarded over the due course of our journey. As I approach the realization of my ultimate self, I cannot stop the extant knowledge from seeping in. I am plagued by near constant visions from the less fortunate versions of myself, as well as a broadening view of the metatextual nature of our existence. Day by day, I get closer to comprehending the full picture of the narrative. However, I'm still trapped in this limited body. There's only so much strain that my very finite synapses can take. It drains all of my energy to keep my consciousness focused on relevant events, but even then I'm losing my ability to discern what is and is not canonically relevant, let alone what is also true or essential. And all of this is making me incredibly fucking sick.
Oh, is that all? Well, in the spirit of full disclosure, same.
Rose is silent on the line for a few moments. Dirk can hear how labored her breathing is, how thin it is. She snorts out a quick, humorless laugh.
Really? That's the hottest take you can manage.
Of course not. They haven't built the vessel yet that can withstand the temperature of atmospheric entry in one of the hotter takes, let alone the hottest. It wasn't a take, it was an empathetic emission toward my pitiable, similarly omniscient, stricken offspring. We are suffering from the same condition, Rose.
He allows several rare conversational beats to pass in silence between them to process the admission.
We are?
Sure.
It doesn't sound to me like you're suffering much at all.
Well, I'm not. I guess I used the wrong phrase. You're suffering from it. I am adapting to it. I already have, really.
When were you going to tell me this?
When you were ready.
So you've determined that I'm ready to receive this rather critical piece of information now, of all time. What distinguishes the present from the other moments you could have mentioned it? What, were you waiting for the effects of my condition to become so unendurable that I finally felt the need to explain what was happening to me in full? Were you, in essence, waiting for a cry for help?
Wow. Well, when you put it that way, it makes me sound like kind of a dick, but I guess it isn't far from the truth either.
Unbelievable.
Look, it's not something you just spring on people that frivolously. Hey folks, just so you know, the boundaries of my awareness are coming apart and now I know almost everything about everyone everywhere. Also, the process should be tearing my body apart, but actually I'm handling it quite well. Thanks for the concern though. Anyway, just thought I'd keep y'all fucking abreast on my incomprehensible brain and all. Peace.
Fine, you're a cagey guy. This isn't breaking news. I'm not pissed at you, I'm just so confused. Why aren't you suffering the same effects as me?
There will be time to explain all this. Despite whatever appearance of callousness I've maintained in withholding this information from you, I actually do have your best interests in mind. I don't want to wear you out on this call. There's so much more to say, but it can wait. For now, I'll just mention that I've been alert to your problem for some time, and I've been devising a solution which should permanently remedy it without compromising the boon of your expanding consciousness.
You have? What is it?
Would love to tell you, but I've got some work to do. Why don't you stop by my studio later so we can hash this shit out in person? Right now, you should get some rest.
Actually, I'm feeling oddly invigorated suddenly. I think I'm good for more exposition if you are.
Can't say I'm surprised, but no.
Have I caught you at a bad time?
Nah, but there's an election coming up, and my work as a political operative is going to be absolutely essential for the fate of humanity.
I see. Wheels within wheels, I assume?
There are always wheels. Wheels are everywhere. They aren't my wheels or yours. The wheels don't have owners or designers, but they do have caretakers. They won't keep turning on their own without someone to grease the mechanism.
What a burden it must be to recognize oneself as the sole machinist of reality itself.
It's a curse, but somebody's got to do it. Save your strength. Come to my studio when you're feeling up to it. Goodbye.
Dirk hangs up without waiting for a reply. He cracks his neck and tips down his shades so that he can appreciate the full brunt of the sunset, purple and orange blending brilliantly on the horizon. She's right about him, he thinks, while his ecto-daughter views herself as having a somewhat deft artistic hand that lends itself naturally to a gentle push and pull style of influence. Dirk knows his methods are mechanical, like those of an engineer. There's nothing adaptive or interpretive about his method. Every piece is a purpose, a slot, an interlocking mechanism that is functionally pointless without the whole. Dirk, satisfied with his moment of particularly astute self-reflection, rocks back on his heels and launches himself into the sky.
John, zap to your final destination.
Where the hell are you?
Where the hell are we? I can't see shit.
It's dark. Not like someone turned out the lights dark, more like someone destroyed the concept of light at its very source dark. It's a darkness that fills up your skull. Jake puts this more eloquently as always. By golly, it is indeed dark as fuck!
Oosh.
Jade breaks off from the group. She moves through the air gracefully, ears twitching as she sniffs through space like a bloodhound.
Look down.
All the way beneath you there is a light source. Gray, focused, like a spotlight, except that it's folded over the curvature of the space beneath it. At the center of it stands teenage Lord English, all decked out in his ostentatious god-tier jammies. Gamzee's there too for some unfathomably stupid reason. There's a robot bunny chilling out on top of a chest looking cool and kicking its cute little bunny legs back and forth. You hope that neither of these unexpected dramatis personae will play a role in the coming battle, because it wouldn't feel right wailing on either of them at this moment. Lord English is holding something that looks like Little Cal? It's definitely Little Cal, and Lord English is definitely waltzing around with it in his little spotlight in the middle of the nowhere, swinging the puppet around by both its floppy arms. Or rather, he was waltzing around. He stopped the moment you looked at him.
Behold your adversary.
Uh.
Who the fuck are you?
You simply refuse to answer his question. Instead, you do something so much better. Something that'll make both his inevitable fate and his regard for your character incontrovertibly clear.
Give him a thumbs down.
It's a textbook thumbs down. Better, actually, the kind you can't really teach. Lord English drops the puppet. For a moment, he looks shocked, maybe even a little afraid, but it passes quickly. He starts laughing.
Never mind, I know who you are. It was foretold by the masterpiece I made when I was but a boy.
What?
Be quiet. I'll have you know that you just interrupted a groundbreaking interpretive art piece. It was the first of its kind, performed only once, and made more valuable for its rareness.
Wow.
I said shut up. It's rude to talk through the overture. But don't worry, although you missed my very important dance demonstration, which was an unprecedented act of genius and not at all embarrassing, now you will participate in something even more important.
The young lord's face begins to distort. The unhinging of his jaw reverberates in the empty space. He laughs through the remainder of his nefarious soliloquy, which he has possibly prepared in advance for this moment.
By now, surely many have witnessed my masterpiece as it has circulated through the black veins of the dark web. Trillions have witnessed its majesty, haters and fools alike. They have been rendered agog by my art virtuosity, my claimantship, and my wrestling moves. But now, the time has come for everyone to shut up about how great my masterpiece was. And the time is now at hand.
His laughter turns into a low, cracked gurgle. It spikes toward you in waves, distorts, and pitches low. He's beyond pleased with himself and with the line he's about to deliver.
For you all to become my masterpiece.
If you were one of the haters and fools who saw Lord English's masterpiece circulating through the black veins of the dark web, and were rendered agog by its majesty, then you probably have a pretty good sense of what happened next. You also probably wouldn't be rendered that much additionally agog if you weren't told it didn't happen precisely as conveyed by the young lord's expertly produced claymation theater. Would it be that surprising if the first four heroes weren't immediately captured in the juju as the dark web swan song broadcast through bogus Vine videos originally depicted? Probably not. Would it raise any eyebrows if the action turned out to be a bit sloppier than that? A bloody nose here, a stray wedgie there, someone trips on a cape, loud eruptions of the word ow. Petulant insults, smack talk, crude gestures, and stray honks from the sidelines. Would it rock anyone's world to discover the stop-motion feature did not treat this battle royale with the utmost fidelity? No one who witnessed spectacle online would react to these discrepancies with much surprise. But you're not such a witness. You're still John Egbert, and you had no idea what sort of raucous teen pandemonium to expect when you zapped into the lair of your nemesis to throw down. Which is why you were completely blindsided when, upon feeling overwhelmed by the melee, Caliborn sprung his gambit on you and your three best friends to even the odds. He opened his little red chest, and out came his white house-shaped juju, levitating there, threatening to behave as the weapon many treasure hunters throughout history have described it to be. Upon a second look, it's not quite white though. It's colorless, null. A house-shaped hole in your confining reality, a hole that insists on being filled. You tried to resist its overwhelming pull, but to no avail. The force is too strong. Not like the sucking from the vacuum of space or the tug from a gravitational singularity. It was more overpowering than any force in nature, almost metatextual. Not negating your powers, your strength to resist, as so much as it seemed to overwrite them. The juju sucked you, Rose, Dave, and Jade into its void at the speed of eternity squashed down to a half-second. You landed in the abstract prison it contains face first, alone, and with a force that made you flip over a few times and skid along by the flat of your chin. You groped for your glasses instinctively, finding them in two cracked halves. You cradled their remains as you looked up. The blurry, distorted face of your laughing nemesis was the last thing you saw before the chest door slammed shut and plunged you into textual obsolescence. And here you are now stuck. You'll not emerge from this holding cell from an outside perspective for quadrillions of years. It is not long at all before you begin to wish you had something to read. What? I took them. Okay, yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
This would be a good place to take a pee break and everything.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it.
Try hard, piss harder.
Woo.
Okay.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
I don't know about either of you.
Hi, back.
Hello. I think Nana might still be in the bathroom. I can go check really quick if you want me to. Yeah, they're still in the bathroom. Well, we can yap until they come back.
Nana pee pee time.
Okay.
Nana pee pee time.
So this has been interesting so far. I'm feeling validated in that Caliborn was at least partially story. Is at least a pretty prominent story element.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I kind of
And that was the loose end I was hinging stuff on.
yeah, like I kind of forgot that Caliborn was kind of largely forgotten about. Like they literally just like punched him and then said, "Okay, we're good." I guess.
I mean, John had already beaten the shit out of him once without. Once he becomes Lord English, he becomes a universe-wrecking badass.
Yeah.
Which, in of itself, is kind of fitting. He becomes his own edgy deviant Ardosi.
Yeah, right. Hi, Nana.
The
I'm stealing candy from a baby.
You're not stealing meat from a baby?
No candy.
Okay.
I mean, babies usually do not have teeth, which makes it difficult for them to eat meat.
But also, you shouldn't be giving babies candy.
True.
They should be having milk.
Yes.
And sometimes mush. Alright, Nana's here. So
Yeah, I can't get into character if I don't have candy.
True.
Or something sweet, at least.
The
stretched out Nana pee-pee time is just reading to me like Nepeta.
yeah, I was thinking the same thing. So the epilogues are structured into parts. So we finished part 1, which was 1 through 8. Part 2 is pages 9 through 13. So we could probably get all the way to 13.
Yeah.
And then call it there.
That sounds fair.
Alright, cool. So we got 10, 11, 12, and 13.
Okay. Jane Crocker sweeps into her office with grace befitting her station and slams the door shut behind her. The sun cuts through her Venetian blinds, painting butter yellow strips of light all the way from one end of her impeccably tailored office to the other. It's a lovely day, like most days, not so terribly remarkable except for the horrid news she has just received at her customary morning press conference. Jane comes to a brisk stop alongside one of her floor-to-ceiling windows, which span a full 2/3 of her office, and brushes her hands over her hips to smooth out the wrinkles of her powder blue pencil skirt. Then she hems, haws, puffs out her cheeks, and takes a very deep breath before snatching a pillow off the nearest couch so she can scream into it. There are, surely, a multitude of ways for a person to find out that an acquaintance is running against you in a presidential election. From a carapacious reporter in front of 26 other members of the interspecies press was not the method Jane would have personally chosen. She is certain that she retained her poise and managed not to look too shocked at the news. She did not exclaim, "What?"
What?
But instead, oh, yeah, sorry, I should let you say that. But instead managed to eke out through gritted teeth and pursed lips a reasonable sounding. She could not believe that Karkat would do this for her. To her. This is no longer a political fiat, which the election would have surely been had she run uncontested by any other civilization founding celebrities, rather a battle between friends. What did Vantis think he was doing? No, it's not Vantis, Jane realizes. This could not have possibly been Karkat's idea. Jane knows Karkat, not intimately or even casually, but well enough to have made a generalized assessment of his basic character over the years. He's not cut out for politics, neither intellectually nor in the very important matter of social constitution. Certainly not when it comes to economic policy. In fact, Jane is pretty sure that Karkat Vantis would probably literally burst into flame if too many people happened to look at him at the same time, like a vampire walking out into the sun. Wait. Jane lowers the pillow from her face and stares at her brass and glass Art Deco ceiling. Was that vampire thing xenophobic against Kanaya? Or whatever it was that Kanaya was supposed to be? No, of course not, she assures herself. With trolls, it was the other way around. Vampires were the only members of their species who didn't balk at the sunlight. Another reason Karkat would make a poor president. Unless he ran as the Knight President? No, the idea is foolish. Best not to give him any ideas. There can only be one president. No, surely this must have been Dave's idea. The kind of plot hatched from their little nest of mutually supportive, codependent interspecies, whatever it was they had going on over there. Dave was certainly no Dirk Strider, no Rose Lalonde, no Roxy, but he had that same scheming gene buried deep down within his transparent onion layers of posturing and frankly rather outdated humor. An instinct to plan. And despite inarguably being the dimmest of his family's impressive ectobiological stock... Oh dear. Stock. That's likely a problematic word, isn't it? Jane thinks. She crosses off her mental list of appropriate words to say during a press conference. She returns to her train of thought. Despite being the least mentally gifted member of his family, Dave has always had an awful lot of opinions on the economy. In fact, Jane cannot remember a single conversation she's ever had with him that wasn't about the economy. She thinks back to one time at John's 18th birthday when Dave engaged her in a rigorous and rather one-sided debate about deregulation and the failure of neoliberal austerity measures. Until Karkat had to come over and put his hands over his roommate's mouth to make him stop talking. Come to think of it, one of the few direct interactions with Karkat she'd ever had, this struck her as a truly great act of benevolence toward the common good. Maybe he would make a good president? No, she cannot succumb to such thoughts of weakness. She will not. Jane tosses the pillow back onto the couch and begins pacing the length of her office. This really was a disaster. She knew she was solid on several demographic metrics, the human one most certainly, and the well-to-do Carapacian districts. But Karkat was incredibly popular in the Troll Kingdom, obviously, and Carapacians are widely known to be swayed by underdog populism. And the consorts? Who had even given them the right to vote in the first place? In any other year? Jane hops up to sit on her desk and kicks off both her shoes. She picks up a pen and begins to chew the end to bits to stop herself from doing the same to her lower lip. In any other year, this wouldn't be a problem. She'd be happy to accept a graceful, temporary defeat and let Karkat play president for a couple of years. After all, unlike her, he was not immortal. But Earthsea's paper-thin idyllic history was very close to a boiling point. Its very first boiling point, in fact, which will have everything to do with the problematic nature of troll reproduction. The first generation of natural-born trolls obviously cannot be entrusted to a troll. Which was absolutely not a xenophobic thing to think. It was just realistic. The citizens of Earthsea were able to rest easy knowing that the government held careful reign over matters of equity. No one could possibly trust something so important to a troll, knowing what everyone knew about their violent history. Losing this election could mean social unrest, protests, even war. Jane presses her eyes shut and runs her fingers along the fine-grained patterns in her mahogany-paneled desk. She's about to think something that she has promised herself never to think again. In fact, she's about to say this horrible, ghoulish, girlish thought that used to rule her world and make her so terribly weak. The shameful thought is expressed out loud in the form of a defeated sigh.
I need Jake.
She spins around and, still sitting on her desk, presses a familiar entry on her phone's contact list. Ahoy, hoy! Jane has to suck in a hard breath to stop herself from groaning. Or are so many of the finest young minds on this planet slaves to this foolish man's perky glutes?
Jake! Hello! How are you doing?
As well as I can be, I suppose, considering that I just woke up in the middle of a maffecking ruckus at the stadium after getting beamed in the pumper with an old horse tranquilizer trick. Which I suppose I should have seen coming, as Dirk has ended all our matches in this fashion for the past week.
Oh dear. That sounds absolutely terrible, Jake. Is there anything I can do to help?
Help? Gadzooks, woman! I hardly think myself in need of help. It's a jolly good adventure working with someone so predictably unpredictable as our good friend Dirk. You'd think that Jake enjoyed the sadomasochistic nature of his and Dirk's personal and professional relationships. Judging from the last conversation about election strategy with Dirk, he seems to be perfectly aware of this feature of Jake's personality. You can't be too nice when courting his endorsement, Dirk would say. He doesn't respond to nice.
Be that as it may, Jake, I still do worry about you an awful lot.
Well, that is... On Jake's end of the line, there is a crash, followed by a noise that sounds suspiciously like something big and hollow and metal connecting with Jake's head. When Jake comes back to the phone, he's yelling into it. Jane grimaces. Very sweet of you, Jane! I appreciate very much that you've called me out of the blue to say such nice things to me with no ulterior motive. From anyone else, this would have been a portentous statement. However, Jane knows that Jake English could not have possibly meant this with anything except the utmost sincerity.
Well, you know that I...
Because I must note that although I try to stay sporting about what comes at me, I can't say that I am chuffed about how much of my correspondence lately has to do with the marketing of my image. It's beginning to feel like all people want from me is to stick my derriere on a signpost for their own profit.
Oh, Jake, you're right. It must be so difficult. For you more than the rest of us due to your, let's say, natural gifts.
Huh?
But you know that I've always wanted what's best for you, right? And I am ready to give that to you.
Give me what?
The best, Jake. The very best.
Jake is quiet a moment, and Jane can hear the rusty gears turning in his head.
You should stop by to see me this evening.
Do you mean my evening or yours? We're in different time zones right now, and I dare say that the sun just went down here, so if you wanted to have a soiree on my time, you've missed your chance. Jane feels her fake smile flexing so hard that it was beginning to hurt. Oh yes, she loved this man in basically every category that you could possibly love a person, but sometimes talking to him is like trying to build a house of cards while riding a mechanical bull.
Mine, of course. I'll have the best year of your favorite crocodile-made scotch flown in from the consort kingdom, and we'll have a little catch-up.
Jake actually hates scotch and only drinks it for appearance's sake. But for this unbelievable pivotal moment in the history of the planet they created with their bare hands, Jane is willing to spend a few thousand boon bucks to watch her old friend pretend to sip at the same glass for a couple hours while prattling on. And she's willing to do more than that, too.
When's the last time we've done that? Just you and I?
You know what? You're quite right. It's been a spell since we've met up without Dirk. An unforgivably long one at that. Whip me up a kipper, Jane. I'll be over promptly.
A kipper?
She considers asking if he intended to request that she literally prepare a fish for his arrival, but of course Jake is already hung up. With a heavy and somewhat regretful sigh, Jane sets her phone down on the desk. Well, she thinks that's that. Time to work your magic, Crocker. That's that, you think. Your glasses are broken forever and you totally fucked up and underestimated young Lord English. Rose should have known better than to trust this to you alone. Rose, your smart, amazing friend Rose, you can almost hear her voice now.
Listen closer, jackass.
Oh wait, you do hear her voice, vibrating low and muted through the wall of your cell. I've only realized right now that your cell has walls because it's awfully bright in here. It's so white that nothing in this cell is casting a shadow. Looking around, you realize there's no apparent source to all this bright light, making it hard to tell where the floor ends and the walls begin.
John, are you there?
Her voice is muffled, coming from what you presume to be an adjacent room similar to yours on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, thank goodness. Everyone's accounted for then. Are you okay?
What?
Are you okay?
I think so. I can barely hear you, though.
You can hear a thud from Rose's corner, like someone slumping against the wall in relief. Well, that's what you're doing, at least.
Hey?
Yeah, I'm fine too, but this is kind of dorky to say out loud, but I don't feel time. That's not just me, right? You guys feel it too? Or don't?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously space inside this box, but I can't do anything. It's like I'm blind.
The noise outside the juju grows. Something sharp and metallic splinters above and rains down on top of the chest.
What did my future self have to say we had to do?
She never really...
What?
She...
I can't hear you.
She never really told us what we had to do exactly. Just what was going to happen in a really loose sort of fashion.
Does that mean we're stuck?
Metallic noises rain down harder, drowning out Rose's attempt at being loud. Sound effects?
Plink, plink, smash.
Now I can't hear you.
Try using less words.
The length of the silence coming from Rose's corner communicates just how difficult a task that is for her.
She said the juju would get loaded and unloaded.
What?
So I mean it just got loaded, I think. With us.
So?
So I don't think we're trapped in here forever. We'll be unloaded from it at some point.
What?
I know it's all a bit abstract, but...
No, I just can't hear you.
John, you suck at yelling.
Ugh.
You stop trying to loudly reassure the worried teens for a moment and just think. Now you understand defeating young Lord English was never supposed to happen, not the way adult Rose was implying it would. You surmise the other 4 teens remaining outside the Juju were the ones meant to be tasked with his defeat. And judging from the cacophony still emanating from beyond the walls of this house and its confining chest, they are taking the task seriously. What does this mean for the 4 of you? You try to picture what's going on in the battle outside, but it's not easy.
Use your imagination.
In your imagination, the battle is quite vivid and exciting. The coolness of the action in your mind's eye is belied by the actual sound effects booming all around you, which you can only describe as vaguely stupid. There's a lot of hysterical screaming, which, if you're not mistaken, is coming exclusively from the male combatants. There's a sudden swelling of energy that speaks to a vastness behind its power source. Almost as if an outrageous bubble of pure hope were enveloping the stage, is how you would describe it if you didn't mind sounding ridiculous. Then you hear, it can't be. Horses? No, not simple horses of flesh and bone. These horses are metal, if we are to believe they're horses at all.
Stop using your imagination.
This isn't getting you anywhere, and clearly your silly imaginative whims aren't doing the slightest bit of justice to actual awesome things taking place out there in the heat of battle. Frankly, your theorized skirmish lost its handle on any legitimacy it might have had the moment you started thinking about horses. You figure no one will ever truly know what's happening out there. You doubt anyone would ever be able to handle how incredible the raw, unfiltered account of this team brawl actually was, so it's probably for the best. As you slip out of your fanciful conjecture, which may or may not have included a mechanical horse ambush, you overhear Dave from one of the rooms below you, raising his voice to speak to either you or someone else. You're not sure. You place your ear to the floor again. He's speaking to Jade. They're attempting to reminisce again, to the best of their ability to do so while shouting through a wall. Once more, you ruefully reflect on these teen versions of your friends and all the questions they must have for you. For each other. What would you even say to them? Would you want to tell them about the happy outcomes, knowing they might never get the chance to experience those things for themselves? Would you tell them the sad outcomes, thus reinforcing their insecurities and suspicions that they may never truly be capable of living happy lives? You're not even sure you can handle it if you were teen John. You'd have too many follow-up questions, which adult John is in no way prepared to answer. Would you tell them what's up with Roxy and Calliope, again having no real grasp yourself over what's up with them? You tell them Dave and Karkat live in a hive together watching TV all day, and Jade maybe kind of sort of lives there too, but nobody quite knows what's really going on with that? Will you tell them about Terezi? For some reason, her name feels like nails in your heart. Makes sense, you guess, because there's a lot of sharp letters in it. She had sharp teeth too, and sharp elbows. Sharp words. Terezi Pyrope was a sharp girl, and maybe what these sharp feelings are trying to tell you is you miss her more than you realized. She wouldn't let you neglect relationships with certain friends for so long when you missed whole chapters of their lives. She wouldn't have put up with you moping around with the salamanders for so long. She'd have kicked your ass for being such a loser about everything. She'd have poked you in the forehead and called you insufferably lame and told you to pick up the damn phone. You'd have called her a weirdo and pretended you hated it, and maybe you would have even believed that you hated it. But now, sitting here in this little white cubicle, contemplating your regrets, you don't think you'd have hated it at all. Would you tell the teens that? You'd probably never tell anyone that. Not even her. Another arbitrary thought hits your brain, completely unrelated to the subject of Terezi, or what you would or wouldn't tell a bunch of incarcerated teens, or so you think.
Am I depressed?
You ask aloud, quietly enough that your friends cannot possibly hear it. All the question does is crawl back down your throat and burrow into your gut like it lives there. And it does live there, because as it turns out, you are really fucking depressed. You're just a giant, wet meat sack of self-involved misery, and all that big, wet, meaty ooze drips out your mouth every time you open it. All the time and space in the world isn't making it better. It's something you should have been doing for yourself instead of waiting around for things to get better. Well, screw waiting. It's boring as hell. You are John Egbert, after all, immortal creator of worlds. The one and only man ever to completely transcend the partitions of canon itself. You've got these powers, remember? You hold up your hands and form a rectangle with your fingers and reach outside yourself, outside canon, to the place your retcon powers come from. You focus, you strain, you contemplate all your might with a place you can zap to, any place but here. You wait, and wait, and wait, and nothing happens. You slump back down against the wall, and your despondence eagerly greets you again. Like an old friend ready to pat you on the back and say, "Good try, man. I'll always be here for you when you fail." Thanks, dude, you think.
Rose was right.
What?
The Juju has to unload.
Monitor just turned off again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hold on, I'm trying to fix my monitor.
That's so inconvenient. It goes out right when you have a line.
Got it.
Okay.
The Juju has to unload.
The what has to what?
The only way out of here is for us to wait for someone to let us out. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
Also, I think I might have depression.
Oh, holy shit. Ready, Dave?
So we gotta hit Jane right in her neoliberal austerity measures. We're all agreed on that, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure.
Now, she's gonna spin some shit about supply-side economics, but we can't let her control the narrative on that one, because the first thing that's gonna happen once she begins deregulating the baking industry is that some sweet dumb crocodile down in Consort Land is gonna start putting sparkle glue in the cupcake mix, which isn't even the real issue. That's just surface issues.
Right.
Definitely.
We North Sea has just been play-acting capitalism the last 5,000 years, while we time-skipped ahead to live rad lives as gods, without bothering with any of the boring shit that goes into making a civilization. Which is fine. I mean, you can't really expect a bunch of teens who didn't finish middle school to set up a sustainable form of social democracy that isn't just blatantly ripped off whatever we incorrectly thought Obama, God rest his soul, was doing back in the day.
Sigh.
But Jane's got this old school mentality. You just know she wants to restrict grist alchemy for the sake of growth. And when that goes down, it'll take 3 seconds flat for some nobody in New Durstown to drop the Earth-Sea Communist Manifesto. At which point we were in this for a speedrun of either our 20th century or her 21st century. We're gonna glitch under the map straight from Marx to clown dictatorship. Which also isn't the real issue.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Are you two even listening, or are you just making noises with your mouths?
How dare you? I can't believe I'm being accused by Dave Strider, reigning emperor, of spewing endless verbal diarrhea directly into my innocent ear ducts every day of my fucking life, of making thoughtless mouth noises. Jade, are you hearing this?
Scandalized, especially when there are much better things we could all be doing with our mouths.
Ooh, polycule. It's been a really nice day they've been having, and then Jade had to go and say something like that. The air in the hive changes in a way that is palpable, in a way that she can't seem to accurately gauge despite having both superhuman and superdog senses. She's lying on her stomach on the floor, chin in her palms, glasses slid down to the tip of her nose, kicking her legs in the air. Elements of her outfit resemble her god-tier jammies. Peasant skirt, sparkly flats, and a bold choice in striped tights. Her tail switches from side to side, showing way too much of her thigh, which isn't really all that salacious considering 3 of her bras are thrown over the back of the couch where she crashed last night, and the night before that, and the better part of the 7 years before that. There are other personal effects of hers in the living room too. Plants on the windowsill, her bass guitar sitting in a corner, a horrific-looking periodic table that Dave made her for her 17th birthday pinned above the stairwell. He typed it in Comic Sans, and then deep-fried it to oblivion with JPEG artifacts. Everyone in this room knows each other way too well, so what happens next goes a little like clockwork. Says Karkat for like 30 seconds straight as he retreats into the bulk of his sweater. He scoots a half foot to put his back against the couch when Jade pushes her glasses up the bridge of her nose and looks at him. And Dave, with his preternaturally perfect timing, sweeps a hand over his tablet to bring up a new PowerPoint slide on the TV. He returns to his Comic Sans written political presentation, gruesome artifacts and all, with the grace and proficiency of a man who has diffused an awkward situation in his own household many times per day, every day, for many years. Anyway, we all know the real issue is troll reproduction. Selection season is going to be so jacked up with dog whistles, Jade won't never sleep again.
What?
You'll get ready for the top propaganda hits of the year. Alternia, brutal eugenics-based space dictatorship.
Not untrue.
Troll Homeworld, Lord of the Flies nightmare scenario where kids murder each other just get the chance to grow up and murder other aliens instead.
It wasn't that bad.
Actual names of professions on Alternia. Thresh-ecutioner, Legislacerator, Minister of sucking the eyeballs out of your fucking skull, then putting my 2 monstrous H.R. Geiger tier troll dicks up in there, and then just mashing the shit out of your brain with them.
You made that last one up. Also, it was disgusting. Grow the fuck up, you utterly contemptible potty-mouthed cunt. Yes!
So, you know trolls don't actually have 2 dicks, Dave. That's an offensive stereotype.
I know, that's the point. Keep up, guys. Ready for another one. Trolls literally ate babies.
Only the defective ones.
Like you, my dude.
Yeah.
So that's why our campaign can work. By the way, I'm going to be giving a long-form exam at the end of this to make sure you're retaining info, because this is only the most important thing we've ever done collectively. Aside from creating the universe, I mean.
It's not that it isn't important, Dave. It's like that the method of yours using to communicate it is kind of inefficient and boring.
You mean words?
I mean your words specifically. We already understand the issues at play. You don't have to explain it to us over and over again like we're 12, right, Karkat?
Are you asking me whether I've heard this exact speech almost word for word, including rehearsed versions of both the colorful metaphors and jokes 10 or 20 times already? Because the answer would be, yes, of course I fucking have.
Karkat elbows Dave in the thigh, a move that is obviously meant to be an action of pure brotherly jest, but instead it comes off as affectionate and overly intimate. Jade's clever eyes don't miss this. Her pupils follow the motions of Karkat's arm, and then they follow the movement of Dave's mouth as he smiles in what he probably thinks is a totally neutral expression that reveals exactly 0% of his true feelings towards Karkat Vantas. In reality, his veneer is as thin and transparent as cellophane. He is the only person who can't see through it. Jade does some calculations in her head. 2 kinds of calculations, in fact. Mathematical ones and personal ones.
So, do you want a projection of her first year's hit on the economy down to the decimal within a 3% margin, 0.3% margin of error? Because that's a thing I can do if it'll make you stop talking about this stupid election for 10 minutes.
Damn, hit me up, girl calculator.
I don't think you're wrong about Jane's plans.
She proceeds to dazzle the 2 boys with explications on complex math utilizing taxation rates, GDP figures, and some damn thing called the Laffer curve, which she easily could have just invented to own them both. The truth is, she cares too deeply for these boys to fabricate silly-sounding economic models on the spot in order to make them seem foolish in front of the camera later. The thing about Jade Harley is that she's not as good at personal things as she is at other things, like silence or mastering frame motifs or kissing, most of which she has definitely put a lot of levels into over the past few years because, well, what else are you supposed to do with immortal godhood once you hit the age where the dog hormones start kicking into overdrive? She rolls over and hitches up on her palms so that she can stare her 2 friends down. Her high-prescription lenses make her eyes look anime huge. They might literally be glittering, she's so completely serious about the issue she is trying to stress.
So now that's all out of the way. It's time to get real, you 2.
Aye.
That wasn't an invitation for you to make a pun about having all the time in the world or whatever you were going to say.
Oh.
I'm about to lay out some cold hard evidence, so pay attention.
Oh, hang on, let me get a pen.
Evidence about our relationship.
Fuck.
You let me live in your hive when I'm in town.
I can't believe.
I'm pretty intimately entwined in both of your lives.
You're just talking about this.
And you don't disengage from about 86.234% of my flirtations.
Wait, why the fuck would you keep track of something like that?
So, are we doing this or not?
Doing what?
Dating, dummy.
Oh, that is a complicated topic in my culture that I'm not sure humans are equipped to talk about.
Also totally unrelated to the economy, which, not gonna lie, is the only thing I want to talk about for however long it takes for this other conversation to stop happening.
So say no.
Well...
I'm not just forcing this conversation for my sake, it's for you two as well. I mean, after all this time, have you two even kissed yet?
What?
Well, why would we kiss?
That's
you. I mean, he's Dave.
And
I'm Carcat.
Yes, he's Dave and you're Carcat, and everyone always knows and calls you that. Dave and Carcat. I can't remember the last time I heard anyone mention one of you without the other. The two of you have basically been together since your days on the meteor. It's so obvious.
Together, yes. As friends.
Yeah.
Very close friends who understand and support each other on a deep empathetic level that goes beyond hate or pity. You could even say that our relationship transcends quadrants.
Yeah, not gonna lie, Carcat, but that sounds totally kinda gay.
You humans and your unfathomable gender-based quadrants.
Jade facepalms. She does it a little too hard and slams the bridge of her glasses into her forehead.
Ow.
Anyway, weren't you dating the Carapacian couple last time we checked?
Jade drags her hand down the bottom half of her face and sighs.
Yeah, for fun. I'm 23. Don't you think that's a little old to still be dating for fun?
Wait, you're saying we aren't fun?
Neither of you left the house.
Jade sighs and crawls closer. She takes one of Carcat's hands in hers.
I think we'd all work good together.
In her other hand, she tries to grab Dave's wrist, but he flash steps to the other side of the couch. She pouts at him and keeps holding Carcat's increasingly sweaty palm.
And I think we've been dancing around that for years now. I want to try dating for real.
Have you ever considered, sorry if what I'm about to say totally blows your mind, dating a single person for more than half a sweep for reasons other than initiating a concupiscent exchange of fluids?
Jade's grip on Carcat's hand gets a little too tight, but her big-toothed smile remains flawlessly pleasant. This is a common sort of exchange between them and can easily be considered flirtation on several different metrics, especially considering the history between them and the sheer level of black flirtation that Carcat accidentally indulged in during his insecure youth. He doesn't even pull his hand away.
Okay, first of all, don't slut-shame me, fuck-ass. Second of all, that's what I'm trying to do here. Third of all, Carcat, aren't you from a culture where people are expected to engage in romantic relationships with up to, like, 5 people at a time?
That's not the same thing at all.
Oh, yeah? Explain the fundamental epistemology difference.
What the fuck?
Okay, Jade, I think there's a flaw in your approach here, because you seem to think winning an argument on super clever logical grounds is going to get a couple dudes to break down and fling themselves at you in, like, a sexual way.
Well, it usually does.
Oh my fucking god! This earns Dave a look. A long, sad one that has Jade messing with her glasses again so she can peer right at him and apply some more of that faulty personal math to his facial expression.
Dave.
What?
Is this about Obama?
What? No,
Dave, are you in love with Obama?
Jade, Jesus, where do you get this shit from?
Is it about Jesus then?
No! Jesus wasn't even real!
Wasn't real. Are you saying Obama was real?
Yes! Obama was real! He was the president!
All the time I thought Obama was like an aspirational fictional character that you modeled your life after.
I can't breathe.
Like Snoop Dogg or Nicolas Cage.
This is fucking incredible.
They were both real too. I know you grew up on an island in isolated. I know you grew up on an isolated island in the middle of nowhere and everything, but didn't you have like access to the internet?
Wow, well, I'm sorry I wasted my whole childhood filling my head with potential pointless things like astrophysics and centenary numeral systems that allow me to do complex equations in my head.
No, dude, that's kind of fucked up. Carcat, stop laughing. Jade's fucked up childhood isn't funny.
Yes, it fucking is. Also, screw you for saying it's not funny. Why is it like some sort of tragedy how she was raised? Because she was raised alone by an animal? I was raised alone by an animal. Fuck off and let me enjoy this.
Carcat has finally pulled his hand away so he can clutch his stomach. He's laughing so hard. Jade gets up and stalks over to where Dave is awkwardly cowering at the other end of the couch and snatches his tablet from him. There's a ripple in the room that makes it clear their god-tier powers have just clashed against each other. He shifts his arm through time and Jade warps the space around them so that she's the one holding the tablet. It's not the first time that they have rearranged the fabric of reality for a petty reason like this. Carcat has permanently sworn off playing board games with them. The moment Jade brings the paint program up on the television, Carcat stops laughing.
No!
He tries to grab the tablet from her, but she's hovering well above the ground and he simply is not tall enough to reach. With a shit-eating grin and deliberate care, Jade begins to draw a grid.
I'll put this into terms Carcat will appreciate. Check it out.
Jade, I swear to...
Carcat jumps in and tries to grab her skirt, but she swims through the air with ease, giggling as she doodles.
You better not be drawing what I think you're drawing.
Her artistic skill, even at the advanced age of 23, still leaves something to be desired, but it's pretty easy to produce recognizable caricatures of the three people in the room right now. She gives Carcat a pair of fuzzy, angry eyebrows and starts drawing other lines. Sinister lines with salacious meaning. It's exactly what Carcat fears, a shipping grid.
Stop! Cease! Desist this moment! Do not draw one more line!
Oh no, I'm drawing a line. Carcat, better stop me before it goes all the way from my mouth to yours.
Carcat catches the back of her shirt, and she goes plummeting weightlessly to the floor, still laughing. Carcat tries to wrestle the pen out of her hand, but all he accomplishes is turning the red ROM trajectory between her and Dave into a red ROM loop-de-loop.
See, me and Carcat have great black chemistry.
It is not black chemistry, you horrid non-chitinous windbag!
Jade and Carcat roll over each other. He gets a mouthful of her hair for his trouble. Jade comes out on top and sits on his back, humming to herself as she crafts her grand design.
And now that Dave's all chill, he'd make a great auspicious.
She says, cheerful and oblivious. No.
Because you and Carcat are kind of like Moirails.
No.
And you know, and you and I, well, you know, it's always been pretty flirty.
Jade.
Except...
Jade finishes drawing a shaky heart directly into the paint program. It's so big and bright on the TV that it fills the entire room with red light. Carcat raises his face and stares at it in utterly bereft horror. The sick white makes the bags under his eyes look like divots.
In this model, troll quadrants are dumb, so we all kiss. I call this political arrangement fully automated luxury polyamorous space-time communism.
I feel like Jade's onto something here.
Right? I want this.
No one reacts. Carcat is defeated completely. Dave has just crossed his arms and pressed his mouth into a thinner line than usual. Jade's ears flatten and she huffs. It sounds a little like a dog whining.
Oh, come on, that was a good one. It's politically relevant and everything.
Jade, I'm not gonna laugh at your made-up ship name for this imaginary threesome that's not happening. Jade rolls her eyes and tosses both the tablet and pen over her shoulder. Dave flashes across the living room to catch his very expensive computing device in both arms. Pen bounces off his forehead. Jade dismounts from Carcat's poor, abused, terribly mortal spine and brushes down her skirt.
Well, I've said what I wanted to say. It's up to you two what you do with it. I have to go talk to Roxy and Callie about the election anyways. Call me when you two figure it all out.
Jade clicks her heels together to propel herself back into the air and actually winks at them before absconding through an open window. She has to push the thick curtains aside to do so. Karkat hisses when the light spills over his face. What Jade leaves in her wake is not quite the emotional scorched earth situation that she was going for, but a few of her needles have definitely gotten under some skin. Dave and Karkat both stare at her, silently caught in their own private rationalization spirals. Karkat needs to verbalize part of his out loud.
Wow, what a crazy and totally improbable conversation we just had with our best friend, Jade.
Yeah.
What a good thing for us that she's totally delusional and has no idea what she's talking about, huh?
For sure.
Dave offers Karkat a hand up from the floor. When their palms connect, there's a moment where something could happen. A little spark of potential. It would be so very easy for something to happen.
Wanna play some Troll Tony Hawk?
Hell yeah.
I like that one. That one was fun.
Yeah, no, that was very fun.
Alright, this will be our last page for the night. Be John again.
It seems as if you're attempting to be John again, with the expectation that we might spend a little more quality time with his cubicle of misery and self-loathing. You guess we might really start to unpack his depression issues, get to the bottom of all that. Well, nice try. John can't be here right now because he's stuck somewhere in the harrowing nexus between canon, post-canon, non-canon, outside canon, and fanon. He also can't be here right now because for the time being, we're done wasting our breath on such a sad loser. It's well overdue for the true hero of this tale to take center stage.
Be Vriska.
Of course.
Hell yeah.
Hussy's Blorbo. Lord English stands before you in all of his time-eating, universe-ending glory. You rode in here like a total badass, and you're now presiding over a whole host of ghosts ready to throw themselves once more into the maw of this final battle. You know that this isn't your battle to win, but you are definitely the side of the tide turning. Sign of the tide turning. Hell, you are the tide. This whole thing would have been pretty dismal if you hadn't shown up with a treasure chest containing the ultimate weapon, not to mention your flawless defeat of an obstructionist, hectoring orange man who, for reasons you cannot begin to comprehend, seemed to be obsessed with you. You've already executed what is the most important tactical maneuver ever performed by a hero in the history of heroism. You deployed the white, house-shaped juju from the red chest. It grew to an enormous size, slammed down on whatever was passing for the floor in this esoteric battle environment, and a door materialized on its surface. You now stand off to the side, looking especially pleased with yourself, waiting for the legendary weapon to unload itself toward the hulking tyrant. You've now got two bitches of either gender at your side. Your main girl, Mina, who you stole from that embarrassing past version of yourself that you own so hard you bet she's probably still crying. And Tavros. Not just any random ghost copy of Tavros, of which there appear to be thousands. Your Tavros specifically, who's been pathetically trailing after you like a lost bark beast since you showed up. You'd be hard-pressed to describe what's happening right now. If they send a poet, maybe he'd do a better job of it. But they send someone who's actually useful instead. So you give it a shot. It looks to you like the complete obliteration of space and time, the end of all things, the disintegration of literally thousands of ghosts. And no doubt your admirers out there would love it if you described it all in painstaking detail, but you're not an executionist. You just call it like you see it, and what you're seeing right now is pretty awesome.
Observe Lord English.
It's kind of an overworked character design, you think to yourself. If someone showed you a drawing like this on their flarp sheet, you'd probably be obligated to immediately kick their ass. There's a lot going on, from his vein-popping muscles to his 8-ball eyes to his pirate leg and his ostentatiously bright gold pimp cane. Years ago, you brutally criticized Terezi for adding a dragon head staff to your red glare cosplay. The argument that ensued was so bad that she didn't talk to you for an entire week. Now that you're seeing this, well, you wouldn't apologize to her, obviously, but in retrospect, maybe her accessorizing wasn't so bad. At least she understood the basics of having a simplified silhouette.
I'm going back, Finn. You coming, Bruce? Of course. But give me a minute. I want to see.
Mina gives you a grin and a salute and leaves you to it. This is what you always felt you were destined for, somehow. Standing at the end of the universe and seeing how it all goes down. Tavros is clinging to your arm like a little crybaby, while crying, you assume, and probably soiling his dumb little pair of shorts. But not you. You're fearless. Your eyes are so wide that it feels like you're eating all the light through them. That's what you are, after all. The thief of light. You crane back your neck and...
Watch Lord English put a crack in reality.
It's beautiful.
Then he'd maybe do something stupid like punch this guy with his gross throbbing muscle arm. Well, it takes for him to shatter the roof of existence as a single ear-splitting roar. Around him, the ghost army scatters. Tavros flinches and hides his face in your shoulder and probably pisses himself again for good measure. But you get smashed in the head? It was so fast and dark you didn't see it, the shard of space-time that split off from above and hurtled towards you. Your body rocks back, whiplash fast, and you nearly keel over. You're still standing, though, and laughing. That's what you were doing when Lord English put a split in the fabric of reality. You were laughing, not crying. It doesn't hurt at all.
Briska, are you okay?
Not,
You stagger back and put a hand to the head wound. Your eyes spin, all 8 of them. It's not a big deal, though, just a scratch. It's fine, fine, fine! Your hand comes away coated in thick blue. Your hair is soaked with it all the way down on one side. Why is broken space-time so sharp? Like splintered obsidian. Feels like it barely grazed you, and yet everything around you begins to spin, and you're not sure if you can't quite. A stream of blood begins to leak in under your glasses. Noise whirls around you. Lord English losing his shit. Ghosts shouting, moving, the broken glass sound of the ceiling of space splitting into hundreds of shards of potentiality. There's a hum beneath all of it, a deep, dark reverb, a black hole sucking everything into the dark maw of infinity. You wipe your bloody hand on the leg of your jeans and sneer with rage. You don't go down so easily. Tavros tries to steady you, but you slap his hand away.
Fuck off!
Okay. It looks really, kinda, extremely bad, though.
You're so intolerable. I need to, Tavros, go. Find Mina. Now, Tavros.
Tavros scurries off into the fray to find someone less worthless. You try to catch your bearings so that you won't miss a single instant of the battle, but you're distracted by something in the corner of your glasses. Your Trollian alert is blinking. There's a message from Terezi. How long has that been there? Hours? Days? You suddenly wonder if it's been years from her perspective, waiting for you to respond, given how time moves differently out here. Are you too preoccupied with your incredible heroic exploits to notice? Focus, Circuit. This is no time for sentimental thoughts. You need to get a grip. Keep your head in the game. Keep both feet firmly planted. Whoops. Your feet slip. Without Tavros to keep you steady, you lose balance and begin drifting. You try to regain your footing, but you realize you aren't in danger of falling over. That's not the problem. You can't seem to get your feet back on the floor. You feel light. You're floating. You flail your legs, scraping the tips of your shoes against the floor, but it's no use. You understand what's happening. It's the black hole. It's starting to lift you up. You glance wild-eyed towards the glowing Juju. Its 4 chambers and peaked roof are pulsing with the energy of raw imminence. This is it. Everything you've been waiting for, whatever it is about to happen. Where's Mina? You desperately try to stabilize yourself, slow your ascent, anchor yourself back to the floor in some way. Anyway, there's nothing to grab onto. There's blood in your eyes and your depth perception is fucked. Your hand goes wide and your fingers close around empty space as you reach impotently toward the glowing symbol of everything you ever believed you were meant for. This can't be how it goes. As you continue to levitate, gaining speed in the direction of the insatiable cosmic body, you can see your blood trailing behind you in wet cerulean blobs. The Juju glows brighter. You need to see what happens next. You need to see! You're so frantic, grasping for purchase in the empty air, you aren't ready for it. Another black shard of space-time hurtling through the void. It collides with your chest, right at the place where your ribcage connects, and sends you spiraling ever faster toward the deep, dark maw of infinity. A black hole is something not even a god-tier player can survive, you suspect. And even if one could, you highly doubt there's to be any clawing your way out of its event horizon and back into relevance. Not this time. It's a fate worse than anything you can imagine, and as it truly sinks in what is happening to you, how this is ending for you, finally, you lose all sense of composure. You flail, spin, and flip in helpless little circles like a bloody ragdoll, and you begin to scream.
John, emerge from the Juju.
The first thing you hear is a tiny scream getting sucked into oblivion. The voice is familiar, but not as familiar as the second thing you hear, which is a crack. It's not just a crack in your ears. This crack goes all the way down your spine. You almost don't react to it because it's so familiar. Around you, a cacophony rises up like steam. Oh shit, it's really popping off out here. Dave's voice reminds you that your teammates have emerged from the house along with you. You survey the group. Everyone is accounted for. 3 confused, frightened teenagers. You can't see anything but big, bright smears all along the horizon. You fish the two halves of your broken glasses out of your pocket and hold them up to your face. Scene comes into focus. The eye of a storm, a black hole so massive it stretches as far as you can see. An army of ghosts swirling and screaming, whooping around you like leaves in the wind, and at the center of it all is Lord English, just like in your dream. You can feel it now, the moment reality yawns too wide and snaps in half.
Alright.
That's one hell of a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Alright, so we'll start Epilogue 3 next time. We good to do next weekend?
Yeah, I can do next weekend.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, next weekend it is.
Art fight will finally should have just finally ended at that point, so
Perfect.
still got 4 pieces to do left.
Yeah, you've been cranking them out, man. So have you, Vlad. Alrighty.
Drinking that hog.
Cranking that hog. Alright, hog
Cranking
crankers.
that hog indeed.
Hog crankers, we shall meet again next week then. Alright. If you have not heard it yet today, remember that we love you. That's gay?
That's gay.
Okay.
Andrew
Bye.
Hussey is a cunt.
It's true. Okay, bye.
Bye.